Chapter 3309. The Four Ancient Immortals: the short, skinny, hunchbacked old man, the white-haired, white-browed, indifferent middle-aged man, the fair-skinned, tender-looking boy, and the lifeless old woman. All four of them were extremely strange, and when these four people gathered together, it was extremely strange. However, when these four people appeared on the battlefield, the huge battlefield immediately quieted down. Whether it was the principal's masters from the two camps on the battlefield or the many experts watching the battle from outside the battlefield, they all looked at these four people with shocked expressions. Among the many experts, most of them did not know who these four people were, so they had doubts and curiosity in their hearts. However, there were still a few people on the field who recognized these four people at once. However, because they recognized them and knew their identities, they were even more shocked. Four ancient immortals. They are four ancient immortals. Oh my God, it's these four old monsters? The four ancient immortals who followed the temporal temple and roamed the divine beginning realm billions of years ago are still alive? It's one thing for them to be alive, but why are they still in the divine beginning realm? With their strength, they should have ventured into the depths of the universe battlefield. Exclamations suddenly rang out in the world. Those experts who had not recognized the four before heard the words, "Four ancient immortals." From the exclamations, and the entire crowd was completely shocked. Four ancient immortals? Even Jian Wushuang was shocked. He had not been in the third firmament for long, so he did not know much about the experts in the divine beginning realm. He should not have known about such an ancient existence, but the four ancient immortals were from the temporal temple. They had left something in the true martial mystic realm of the temporal island, so Jian Wushuang knew about their existence. The four ancient immortals, like Elder Darkbone, were experts from the same era as the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance Master, the Temporal Temple Master, and the Heaven Ancestor. The Temporal Temple had created the Temporal Temple with great means and fought everywhere. It had a large number of experts under its command, and the four ancient immortals were the strongest and most famous. Any one of them was at the level of the 6 void realms, and almost all of them were at the peak of the 6 void realms. To put it bluntly, in terms of strength, any one of them was stronger than the Baixing Hall Master and the Galaxy Lord. The only one who could contend against them in a one-on-one fight, and perhaps even slightly stronger than them, was Elder Darkbone. However, although Elder Darkbone was strong, he was only one person. On the other hand, the four ancient immortals were four people. Moreover, the four of them had fought together under the temporal temple back then, and their relationship was very close. At that time, the temporal temple master had specially researched a set of joint attack array formation for them. Once this joint attack array formation appeared, it was completely capable of sweeping away principal's masters. Even old monster Abyssal Bone could only retreat in front of the four of them. There were even rumors in the outside world that if the four ancient immortals joined forces, they would have the ability to fight head-on even if they encountered a Saint Realm Master. Although this was only a rumor and had not been confirmed, since there was such a rumor, then even if the four ancient immortals could not reach this point, it would not be too far off. In the center of the battlefield, after clearly seeing the identity of the person who came, the expressions of the experts from the 3 great Saint Realms all became unsightly. The four ancient immortals are actually the four of them. Galaxy Master's expression was gloomy. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website MyBoxNovel. Thanks. We are in big trouble. Any one of these four old monsters is in existence at the peak of the 6 states of the void. In a one-on-one fight, none of us are a match for them. And if the four of them join forces, they might be able to completely wipe us out. Sky Nether Master also secretly gritted his teeth. It's a pity that almost all of the top experts of our 3 great Saint Realms have gone to the universe battlefield to explore. It's really hard to find an existence in the divine beginning realm that can fight against the four ancient immortals. 8 Treasures Master frowned. The 3 great Saint Realms were also the overlords of the divine beginning realm. Their foundation and strength were naturally not much weaker than the temporal temple. However, whether it was the 3 great Saint Realms or the top forces of the divine beginning realm, very few of the truly top experts would always stay in the divine beginning realm. Most of the top experts would choose to go to the universe battlefield after their strength reached a certain level. They would choose to venture into the universe battlefield. This kind of adventure was not going to the periphery of the divine beginning realm. They could return at any time. Most of the top experts would choose to venture deeper into the universe battlefield, into those unknown territories. Once they ventured into the depths of the universe battlefield to explore, it would be very difficult for them to return within a short period of time. There were even some who ventured deeper into the universe and never returned. Almost all of the top principals masters of the three great saint domains had gone to the depths of the universe battlefield. Otherwise, with the foundations of the three great saint realms, they would be able to send out experts who could contend against the four ancient immortals. Four ancient immortals? Long time no see. The four of you old geezers haven't died yet? Hearty laughter suddenly rang out on the battlefield. On the battlefield right now, the only person who dared to speak to the four ancient immortals in such a manner was naturally Elder Darkbone. Darkbone? You actually appeared here as well, and from the looks of it, you're standing on the side of my temporal temple. This is truly rare. Among the four ancient immortals, the ancient woman slowly spoke. This old man also doesn't wish to have anything to do with your temporal temple, but that disciple of mine has pleaded repeatedly, and this old man is helpless. Elder Darkbone said, "No matter what, since you're on my temporal temple side today, our temporal temple will naturally remember this favor," the weathered old woman said, and then turned her head. She looked at the experts of the three great saint realms. Three great saint realms? A cold voice came out of the weathered old woman's mouth. You're the publicly acknowledged overlord of the divine beginning realm, but you've gone through so much trouble to kill a little guy who's only at the level of an immortal saint. Aren't you going a bit too far? Do you really think that our temporal temple has no one? Thanks, those three cowardly fellows from the three great saint realms. They actually dare to suppress our temporal temple while Lord Temple Master has been roaming the universe battlefield all year round. They are really bold. The fair-skinned boy let out a bewitching laugh. The actions of the three great saint realms over the past few years are indeed a little too much. The cold middle-aged man with white hair and white eyebrows said in a low voice. The simple words of the three men were like the words of a knife, stabbing into the hearts of the experts of the three saint realms. Indeed, Jian Wushuang was only an immortal saint, but what the three saint realms had done was a little too much. Well, let's talk about it later. Take the little guy named Heavenly Sword Marquis away from here first, and then we'll settle the score with the three saint realms later, the short hunchbacked elder said coldly. Chapter 33:10. Arrived in person, little guy, come with us. The short hunchbacked elder glanced at Jian Wushuang, completely ignoring the experts of the three saint realms, the sorcerer god sect, and the nine-tailed clan. The four of them turned around, apparently intending to leave. The experts of the three saint realms looked at each other, but no one dared to stop them. Even the Star River Master, the Sky Nether Master, and the Eight Treasures Master were frowning, but they had no intention of stopping them. They knew very well that since the four ancient immortals had arrived, the experts present were no match for them. They could not stop the four ancient immortals from doing anything. The four ancient immortals wanted to take Jian Wushuang away. They could only watch helplessly. However, just when everyone thought that the four ancient immortals were going to take Jian Wushuang away and the battle ended, the four ancient immortals focused their eyes and raised their heads almost at the same time, looking at the void in front of them. A white light appeared out of nowhere. This white light was extremely dense and dazzling. It was like a huge white sun. It was warm and gave people an extremely gentle feeling. Soon after, a human figure slowly stepped out from within this white light. This was a barefooted bald man dressed in a white robe. This bald man's expression was gentle and gave off an incomparably amiable feeling. His eyes were also filled with kindness. He slowly stepped out from within the white light. There was not any earth-shaking might from his body. It was as if he was an ordinary person standing in the air. However, the appearance of this white-robed bald man caused the expressions of the four ancient immortals to become unusually solemn. Elder Darkbone, who was not far away, saw this white-robed bald man and his face could not help but darken. He actually came? When the many experts watching the battle around the battlefield saw this white-robed bald man's appearance and the unique feeling he gave them, they instantly understood the identity of this person. Saint Realm Master. There's no mistake. Only a Saint Realm Master can have such a unique and superior feeling. A Saint Realm Master is here? Oh my God! The entire world was in an uproar. When the experts from the life and death sacred region saw him, a hint of fanaticism flashed in their eyes. Then, they all knelt down and said, "Greetings, Saint Master." Saint Master. The Saint Master of the life and death Saint Realm, one of the 3 Saint Realms, had arrived in person. A Saint Realm Master? Jian Wushuang narrowed his eyes slightly, but he was not too surprised. He knew very well that his perfect life level was a threat to the 3 Saint Realms. This time, the 3 Saint Realms did not hesitate to fight the Temporal Temple to kill him, so they must have been fully prepared. Moreover, Jian Wushuang had guessed that the Masters of the Saint Realm would be present in person. Now it seemed that it was true. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website mynovelful.com. Thanks. 4 Ancient Immortals, long time no see. A gentle voice came out of the white-robed bald man's mouth. Every word of the white-robed bald man seemed to contain a supreme truth, which made people admire him, including thunder. The 4 ancient immortals stared fixedly at the white-robed bald man. They no longer had the calmness they had before. Saint Realm Lords were supreme existences at the peak of the Divine Beginning Realm. In the Divine Beginning Realm, Saint Realm Lords were the representative of invincibility. Even the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance Master, Temporal Temple Master, and Heavenly Ancestor did not dare to underestimate these 3 Saint Realm Lords in the Divine Beginning Realm. As for Saint Realm Masters, they naturally stood above ordinary Principles Masters. Even though the 4 ancient immortals were all peak existences of the 6 realms of the void, they were still far inferior compared to Saint Realm Masters. Seems like the secret hidden within this little fellow has already reached an earth-shaking level. He actually made you, a Saint Realm Master, personally appear. The aged old woman spoke in a low voice. This seat doesn't have any grudges with this little fellow. Unfortunately, the power of the will of the heavenly Tao must kill him. This seat is only following orders, the white-robed bald man said with a smile. Visit Rietal. Me for extra chapters. Following orders? The surrounding people were startled, but they soon felt relieved. Although Saint Realm Masters were high and mighty, in fact, many people knew that the reason these 3 Saint Realm Masters were so powerful was mainly because of the power of the will of the heavenly Tao. The combat strength of these 3 Saint Realm Masters was actually not very strong. In terms of realms, they were probably only at the 6th level of the Void Realm. However, it was precisely because of the power of the will of the heavenly Tao that their combat strength far surpassed the 6th level of the Void Realm. 4 ancient immortals, make it convenient for this seat to kill that little fellow. This way, this seat will be able to report back. The white-robed bald man smiled. His luck was very calm, as though he was really asking for it. I'm sorry. No matter what, this little fellow is also a member of my temporal temple. The 4 of us old fellows can't just hand him over to you. The old woman said. Oh, is that so? That's a pity. The white-robed bald man sighed lightly, but then he raised his head and smiled warmly as well. Since the 4 of you won't allow it, this seat can only kill the 4 of you first before going to kill him. Hee hee, that's easy for you to say, but I don't know if you have the ability to do so. The old woman sneered. Kualei, your tone is a little too arrogant. The cold middle-aged man said coldly, it's not like the 4 of us haven't fought with you many years ago. At that time, you couldn't do anything to us. But now, do you think we are afraid of you? Kualei, if you want to fight, we can accompany you. It just so happens that it has been many years since we last fought, the short hunchbacked old man said. Kiki, I'm also very curious. After so many years, have you, a timid fellow like a mouse, improved in strength? The young boy strangely laughed. I will let you guys get what you want. The white-robed bald man laughed, but a fierce glint flashed across his eyes. Wang wang. An endless white light suddenly swept out from his body. This white light was warm and shone in the void, causing the entire world to be in a vast white environment. The white-robed bald man was in the center of this world. His body trembled slightly, and he directly rose to a height of 30 meters, an incomparably holy aura that caused people to worship him spread out from his body. The moment this aura appeared, it immediately caused countless experts in the surroundings to reveal terrified expressions. They could not help but look at the white-robed bald man. In their eyes, this white-robed bald man seemed to have transformed into the ruler of the world, causing them to involuntarily want to kneel down and worship him. Plop plop. The weaker undying saints in the surroundings of the battlefield had already knelt down, while the stronger immortal saints and the principal's masters were forcefully supporting themselves. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 3311, God Puppet, Too Terrifying. Is this a Saint Realm Master? We don't even need to make a move. Just the formless power is enough to make us unable to resist. Even I can't help but want to kneel down. The Underworld Emperor's face was flushed red. He muttered. He was already a true principal's master. However, as he stood outside the battlefield, he had the urge to kneel down towards the white-robed bald man. One could imagine how much pressure the immortal saints who were weaker than him had to endure. It could be said that those who could still stand on the battlefield were already considered quite impressive. This lightning is still the same. He likes to use his power to oppress others, the young boy said coldly. After all, he is a Saint Realm Master. None of us are a match for him in a one-on-one fight. Let's use that move directly, the old woman said. All right. The other three nodded. In the next moment, the short hunchbacked old man waved his hand, and a golden light suddenly flashed and appeared. This golden light was actually a golden armored figure. It was over 10 meters tall, and its entire body was covered in golden armor. Only a pair of eyes could be seen, but it was currently closed. This golden armored figure appeared in front of the four ancient immortals. At first, it did not emit any aura or might, but after the four ancient immortals moved and directly merged into the golden armored figure, the golden armored figure immediately came to life, and his eyes, which had been closed the entire time, suddenly opened. The instant he opened his eyes, a sharp golden light, like two golden lightning bolts, pierced through the air and shone on the white-robed bald man. At the same time, a terrifying aura that caused everyone present to feel suffocated rose up from the golden armored figure. The golden armored figure also rose up. When the many experts present felt this terrifying aura, their eyes were wide open. How is this possible? This aura is too strong, too strong. I feel that it's much stronger than the aura of a Saint Realm Master. How can there be such a powerful aura? Many gazes filled with shock and disbelief turned towards the golden armored figure. Even the experts of the Temporal Temple, who were on the same side as the four ancient immortals, could not help but be terrified. Is this the strongest technique of the four ancient immortals? Jian Wushuang stood not far behind the golden armored figure and looked at the golden armored figure in front of him, his heart filled with shock. In his perception, the aura of the golden armored figure had indeed surpassed that of the white-robed bald man. The four ancient immortals were the four strongest war generals under the command of spacetime. Back then, they had followed the Temporal Temple Master to create the Great Temporal Temple. And the Temporal Temple Master had specially created a joint attack array for them. The most important part of this joint attack array was to jointly control this golden armored figure. It could be said that this golden armored figure was indeed the strongest technique of the four ancient immortals. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website mynovelful.com. Thanks. Its power was naturally extraordinary as well. However, unlike the other experts present, the white-robed bald man merely smiled faintly when he sensed the aura emitted by this golden armored figure. Ruler-level God Puppet, the Temporal Temple Master really has nothing to say to the four of you. He actually gave this thing to you to control. Unfortunately, although this God Puppet's power is world-shaking, The four of you are too weak. The last time we met, the four of you worked together to control this god puppet, but you could only use about 10% of its power. Now that so many years have passed, I wonder if your control over this god puppet has improved a little." The white-robed bald man still appeared relaxed and content. He was not affected at all by the powerful aura of the golden-armored figure. "You'll know whether or not you've improved." The old woman's voice rang out from within the golden-armored puppet. As soon as she finished speaking, the 10-meter-tall golden-armored puppet suddenly leapt forward. Boom! The void beneath the golden-armored puppet's feet exploded, and its enormous body instantly appeared in front of the white-robed bald man. A dazzling golden light suddenly lit up. A golden spear appeared in the golden-armored puppet's hand. Shoo! The sound of air being torn apart rang out, and the golden spear suddenly stabbed out explosively, bringing with it a destructive might. The spear stabbed out, and in an instant, the void in front of them shattered, scattering in all directions. A massive spatial black hole appeared in front of everyone, but what was shocking was that the diameter of this spatial black hole was it was hundreds of meters. How is this possible? Isn't this too exaggerated? Visit Readle.me for extra chapters. A space black hole with a diameter of hundreds of meters. This is the most stable third sky in the space of the divine beginning realm. Unbelievable! Countless exclamations sounded at the same time. Many people were frightened by the huge space black hole in front of them. A black hole in space could only be formed by completely shattering space. However, this was the divine beginning realm, not some special mystic realms or small-scale realms. Because of the existence of the heavenly Tao, the space here was extremely stable. For an ordinary principles master, even if he used his full strength, it would be very difficult to cause a piece of space to collapse. Only principles masters who had reached the 5th or 6th level of the void could barely tear apart space. However, even for principles masters who had reached the 6th level of the void, their full strength could only tear apart a piece of space at most. At most, a space hole of a few meters or even 10 meters would appear. This was already the limit. But now, a casual attack was able to create a space black hole of a few hundred meters in diameter. The power of this attack was too terrifying. Interesting. Seeing the golden spear thrusting towards him, the white-robed bald man merely smiled faintly. His entire body was bathed in white light, and his warm palm was stretched out at this moment. Without any fancy moves, his palm actually directly grabbed toward the golden spear. What? Such a terrifying spear, using your hand to grab it? What kind of joke is this? Everyone was stunned by this action of the white-robed bald man. Very quickly, the white-robed bald man's palm grabbed onto the tip of the golden spear. At the instant his palm made contact with the golden spear, boom! The sky collapsed and the earth split apart. Endless might frantically spread out in all directions. The space black hole that had originally formed a few hundred meters in size was instantly magnified by more than twice at this moment. Furthermore, an inconceivable devouring power also erupted from within the space black hole. It was crazily devouring everything around it. The entire Sa Island had been torn apart due to the previous battle. However, at least the land was still there. Now, the apocalypse had arrived. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 33:12. Another one arrived under Swordsman. The power mercilessly bombarded the land below. The entire Sa Island, the many land masses that were still floating on the surface of the water, all crumbled at this moment. In the blink of an eye, the entire Sa Island had already disappeared completely. At the same time, that shocking power also affected the surrounding void space. Retreat, retreat quickly. Run quickly or well die. This power is too terrifying. Run quickly. Those experts who were close to the golden-armored god puppet and the white-robed bald man, life and death saint master, immediately retreated frantically. They were very clear that the battle between the golden armored god puppet and life and death Saint Master had completely exceeded the scope of Principal's master, and it was not something they could get involved in. Once they were affected by the shockwaves, the weaker Principal's masters, it was very likely that they would be directly killed. Even the stronger Principal's masters did not dare to easily withstand the aftershocks. In the center of that shocking power, the palm of the life and death Saint Master had already grabbed the tip of the golden spear. However, not long after they made contact, the life and death Saint Master let out a soft exclamation and immediately released his palm. At the same time, he took 2 steps back. It seems that this seat has been too careless. After so many years, your 4 ancient immortals' control over this god puppet has increased by quite a bit compared to before. Previously, you could only barely unleash 10% of its power, but now, even though you can only unleash less than 20% of its power, it's still very close. Life and death Saint Master continued to smile warmly. Even though he had suffered a small loss because he had been too arrogant in the face-to-face confrontation, he did not mind it at all. Again! Life and death Saint Master waved his hand. Originally, there was only white light pervading his body, but at this moment, a large amount of black light suddenly surged out. The black and white light were incomparably dazzling, and under life and death Saint Master's control, the black and white light perfectly merged together and formed a huge life and death picture. The white represented life, while the black represented death. Life and death Saint Master pointed from afar. Bang! This huge life and death picture directly crushed towards the golden armored god puppet. At this moment, everyone around felt unprecedented pressure. This pressure caused everyone present to be unable to breathe. Break! A stern cry was emitted from within the golden armored puppet. Immediately, the power of the golden spear suddenly soared. It was clearly a long spear, but at this moment, it had directly transformed into a resplendent golden star. It also carried a power that far surpassed that of a Principal's master as it collided against the life and death diagram. Bang! The collision between the two was still as earth-shaking as before. It was even more intense than the previous collision, but the result was completely different. After the collision, although the life-death pattern was pushed back, the golden armored puppet was also pushed back immediately. Even the surrounding power and aura were weakened a lot. Obviously, the golden armored puppet was crushed by the collision. Bai Xing, let's stall him. Take the little guy and go. The old woman's voice came from the golden armored puppet. As soon as she finished her words, the golden armored puppet attacked the life and death Saint Master again. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website My Novelful. Thanks. Go! Temple Master Bai Xing did not hesitate at all. As soon as they gave the order, the experts from the temporal temple surrounded Jian Wushuang and rushed toward the nearby void. Although the void was still confined by space-time, it only prevented them from teleporting and teleporting. They could still escape normally. The experts of the 3 Saint Realms, the Sorcerer God Sect, and the Nine-Tailed Clan would not let them escape, so they immediately began to block them. However, with the presence of the super expert, Elder Darkbone, the experts of the Temporal Temple could run amok. No one in the 3 Saint Realms could compete with Elder Darkbone. As long as the people of the Temporal Temple could protect Jian Wushuang and help him break out of the space-time confinement, he could use space-time teleportation to leave. Quale, the little guy is about to escape. Why aren't you worried at all? The old woman's voice sounded again from the golden puppet. Worried? Why should I be worried? The life and death Saint Master continued to smile. Do you really think the little guy can escape? What a joke. Hearing this, the 4 ancient immortals in the golden armored puppet frowned. Hee, I'm afraid you don't know that I'm not the only one here. The life and death Saint Master said with a faint smile. As soon as he said this, the 4 ancient immortals' expressions changed drastically. Visit Rietal. Me for extra chapters. In the void on the other side, Jian Wushuang, escorted by the Temporal Temple and Elder Darkbone, was about to break out of the space-time imprisonment. However, at this moment, a figure suddenly appeared in front of them. It was a middle-aged man in purple armor, with his arms crossed and his body emitting endless demonic chi. The middle-aged man's face was cold, and his eyes were cold and aloof as if all living beings were ants in his eyes. The appearance of the purple-armored demon lord instantly made everyone in the temporal temple stop in their tracks. Even Elder Darkbone stopped in the void at this moment. Elder Darkbone raised his head and looked at the purple-armored demon lord, his pupils constricted. This person, the same feeling as the life and death Saint Master. Could it be another Saint Master? Many experts from the temporal temple looked at the person in front of them in shock. Greetings, Saint Master. The principal's masters from the Flame Saint Realm from the 3 great Saint Realms bowed fervently when they saw this person. From their greetings, they could instantly confirm the identity of this person. Flame Saint Master. As expected, another Saint Realm Master. Oh my God! The surrounding experts who were watching the battle were shocked again. 2 of the 3 Saint Realm Masters from the Divine Beginning Realm had arrived on the battlefield at this moment, and their goal was only for one person, an immortal saint, and that person was Jian Wushuang. Damn it! Temple Master Bai Xing's eyes darkened as he looked at Elder Darkbone. Darkbone, with your strength, can you fight against the Flame Saint Master? Fight. Elder Darkbone smiled bitterly. A master of the Saint Realm is a master of the Saint Realm after all. Although I'm confident that I can survive in his hands, it's impossible for me to fight him head-on. At most, I can only hold him off for a while. It's enough to hold him off for a moment. I've already received a message from the Hall Master. The Hall Master has already returned to the edge of the Divine Beginning Realm. With his use of time and space, he only needs 15 minutes at most to arrive here. Palace Master Bai Xing said seriously. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 3313, Bamboo Leaf, Temporal Temple Master? Elder Darkbone was stunned. Temple Master? The experts of the Temporal Temple were overjoyed. Temple Master has returned to the Divine Beginning Realm? Jian Wushuang immediately looked at Temple Master Bai Xing. As far as he knew, Temporal Temple Master had been adventuring in the universe battlefield for a long time. The last time he came back from the universe battlefield was millions of years ago. The Palace Master has indeed returned to the Divine Beginning Realm. In fact, he had already decided to come back. It's just that his previous location in the universe battlefield was quite far from the Divine Beginning Realm. In addition, he encountered some things on the way, so he was delayed for some time. This time, after the collision with the 3 great Saint Realms, I sent a message to the Palace Master early in the morning, and the Palace Master returned as fast as he could, said Bai Xing Palace Master. That's great. The Palace Master's strength is monstrous. If he comes, the 3 great Saint Realms will not dare to be arrogant. Right, as long as the Palace Master arrives, we don't need to be afraid of the 3 great Saint Realm Masters. Many experts of the Temporal Temple were excited. The Temporal Temple Master had single-handedly created the Temporal Temple. He was the absolute overlord of the Divine Beginning Realm. Moreover, the Temporal Temple Master was different from the 3 Saint Realm Masters of the 3 great holy regions. The 3 Saint Realm Masters had the power of the will of the Heavenly Tao, which was why they had the strength that surpassed the Principal's Masters. However, the Temporal Temple Master, the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance, and the Heavenly Ancestor had their own cultivation base that exceeded the scope of the Principal's Masters. In terms of strength and ability, the Temporal Temple Master was far stronger than the Masters of the Saint Realm. This was also why it was rumored that a Saint Realm Master would be inferior to an existence like Temporal Temple Master. In the current situation, although there were already 2 Saint Realm Masters in the 3 Saint Realms, as long as Temporal Temple Master arrived, the 3 Saint Realms would not be able to do anything to Jian Wushuang. Temple Master, it will take 15 minutes to get here. As for the Flame Saint Realm, Darkbone, I can only hope that you can delay him as much as possible, Temple Master Bai Xing said. I'll do my best, Darkbone said with a serious expression, but let me be clear. Although I'll try my best to stop the Flame Saint Master, I'll leave this place as soon as I'm under too much pressure and my life is threatened. Of course, we only hope you can do your best, but we don't dare to force you if you die, Temple Master Bai Xing said. Elder Darkbone only helped Jian Wushuang because his disciple, Underworld Emperor, owed him a favor. However, there was a limit to this favor. It was already very rare that Elder Darkbone was willing to help. Jian Wushuang and the people of the Temporal Temple did not expect him to risk his life for them. Flame Saint Master, long time no see. Elder Darkbone looked at the Flame Saint Master in front of him. Darkbone? Are you sure you want to get involved in this? Flame Saint Master's gaze was cold as he glanced at Elder Darkbone. I originally didn't want to get involved, but that disciple of mine owes this little fellow a favor. You also know that I've lived for so long, and it wasn't easy for me to take in such a disciple. Elder Darkbone laughed. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website My Novelful. Thanks. Very good. Then this battle, it'll take care of you as well. Flame Saint Master said coldly, I'll kill Darkbone. As for Heavenly Sword Marquis, I'll leave him to you. No problem. A cold voice suddenly sounded from the other side of the void. When everyone looked over, they found that a woman in blood-red clothes had appeared in the empty void. Although this woman in blood-red clothes was not considered very beautiful, the ruler-like temperament that she had had for a long time was enough to make people submit to her. Another Saint Realm Master? 3 Saint Realm Masters from the 3 great Saint Realms are all here. Thanks. This is a scene that is rarely seen in billions of years. The surrounding experts who were watching the battle had already become numb to the shock. All they could think about now was how fortunate they were to be here and be able to see a scene that was rarely seen in billions of years. This is bad. The hearts of the experts from the Temporal Temple jolted. Visit Rietal. Me for extra chapters. Everyone, although I have some tricks that can barely hold off a Saint Realm Master, I don't have the ability to deal with 2 Saint Realm Masters at the same time. Elder Darkbone's voice became anxious. He was confident that he could survive if he fought against a Saint Realm Master alone. However, he was not confident that he could survive if he fought against 2 Saint Realm Masters at the same time. If the Temporal Temple needed him to fight against 2 Saint Realm Masters at the same time, he would not hesitate to leave because it was impossible. At this time, Jian Wushuang, who had been protected by the experts of the Temporal Temple, finally spoke. Senior Darkbone, Jian Wushuang looked at Elder Darkbone and said, Don't worry, Senior. You just need to think of a way to stall the Flame Saint Master. As for Destruction Saint Master, leave him to me. Leave him to you? Elder Darkbone was stunned. Many experts of the Temporal Temple also looked at Jian Wushuang in astonishment. A master of the Saint Realm, the most terrifying existence in the Divine Beginning Realm, even an expert at the peak of the 6 Void Realms did not have the courage to confront a master of the Saint Realm head-on. Elder Darkbone only had the ability to fight a Saint Realm Master because he had lived for too long and had too many tricks up his sleeve. That was why he had the ability to fight a Saint Realm Master for a short while. But now, Jian Wushuang, an immortal saint, said he would fight a Saint Realm Master? Although Jian Wushuang had displayed extraordinary strength and skills in the previous battle, it was still too incredible for him to fight a Saint Realm Master alone. Under the astonished and doubtful gazes of the surrounding people, Jian Wushuang flipped his hand and took out a purple bamboo leaf. At first glance, the purple bamboo leaf looked ordinary. It only had a special purple halo around its surface. However, the moment they saw the purple bamboo leaf, the experts of the Temporal Temple, their pupils constricted. Heavenly Sword Marquis, this bamboo leaf is... Temple Master Bai Xing looked at Jian Wushuang in shock. Because she had vaguely felt a suffocating aura from the purple bamboo leaf. The Heaven-Cleaving Alliance gave me this bamboo leaf. Jian Wushuang smiled. The Heaven-Cleaving Alliance had given him 3 things at once. 2 of them were made by Palace Master Shui Yun and Palace Master Askance, which contained the magic power of the 2 Palace Masters. These 2 pearls had been used during the battle. The last thing was the purple bamboo leaf in Jian Wushuang's hand. It was also the most precious life-saving item among the 3. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: You can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 33:14. Consciousness Doppelganger. When Elder Mo Shan gave me this bamboo leaf, he said that as long as I use it in the divine beginning realm, it can almost save my life, but I don't know if it's true. Jian Wushuang's eyes flashed with a light. His palm had already exerted force, and a trace of divine power seeped into the bamboo leaf. As the divine power seeped in, Jian Wushuang could immediately sense the power hidden in the bamboo leaf that he could guide. So that's how it is? Jian Wushuang raised his eyebrows. He had already understood what was inside the bamboo leaf. Buzz buzz, the world shook. Under the deliberate guidance of Jian Wushuang, a surge of power slowly surged out from the bamboo leaf. This power gathered in the void, and in the blink of an eye, it formed a human figure. It was a 2-meter-tall burly man. He wore scarlet armor and his skin was dark. In his narrow eyes, a pair of gem-like eyes swept over. When his gaze swept over, the world was overshadowed. Most importantly, it was the domineering aura of the burly man. This domineering aura was unparalleled. It was as if the entire universe was under his feet, and all living things in the world should submit to his feet. This domineering aura was simply too shocking. Among the many experts present, the one with the strongest domineering aura should be Ba Zong. However, Ba Zong was only at the 5th level of the void. Regardless of whether it was his strength or the domineering aura on his body, he was far, far inferior to this burly man. When this middle-aged man appeared and that domineering aura swept out crazily, the countless experts present had already fixed their gazes on this burly man. Even the Flame Saint Master and the Destruction Saint Master who had arrived, all of them looked at the burly man. This person, who is he? Why does it feel like his strength isn't any weaker than the 3 great Saint Realm Masters? No, not only is he not weak, he seems to be even stronger than the 3 great Saint Realm Masters. In terms of aura alone, he is indeed stronger than the 3 great Saint Realm Masters. In the Divine Beginning Realm, the only ones stronger than the 3 great Saint Realm Masters are the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance Master, the Temporal Temple Master, and the Heavenly Ancestor. Who is this person in front of us? What a terrifying domineering aura. This domineering aura is definitely the strongest I've ever seen. Among the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance Master, Temporal Temple Master, and Heavenly Ancestor, the only one with unparalleled domineering aura is the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance Master. This person is the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance Master. Oh my God, even the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance Master is here. Crazy, crazy. What's going on? Countless exclamations rose and fell in the sky. The experts present were so shocked that they could not speak. They only felt that today's battle was too crazy, too crazy. There was nothing they could do. From the start of the battle until now, the experts that appeared were more and more shocking. Until now, experts like Elder Darkbone and the 4 Ancient Immortals were nothing, because even the 3 Saint Realm Masters had appeared. Even the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance Master had appeared. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website My Novelful. Thanks. Especially the appearance of the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance Master, which made people tremble. It must be known that among the 3 great freedom alliances, the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance was the strongest, and the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance Master had been regarded by many people as the strongest expert in the Divine Beginning Realm for a long time. Now, the number 1 expert of the Divine Beginning Realm had actually appeared in front of them. How could they not be shocked? Contrary to the shock of the experts present, the expressions of the 3 great Saint Realms were not good. Including Lei, Destruction, Flame Saint Master. In order to kill a little Saint Realm fellow, the 3 of you attacked at the same time. You really have some ability. The incomparably domineering and burly man, the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance Master, had a cold look in his eyes. He swept his gaze across the 3 Saint Realm Masters. The Life and Death Saint Master, including Lei, was currently in a heated battle with the golden armored puppet of the 4 Ancient Immortals. He had no time to care about this. However, the 2 of them were facing the leader of the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance head-on. Visit Rietal. Me for extra chapters. leader of the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance. The eyes of the Destruction Saint Master narrowed slightly as he stared at the leader of the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance. Jiomoi. The face of the Flame Saint Master darkened slightly. The leader of the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance was called Jiomoi. Only very few people in the Divine Beginning Realm knew his real name, but the three great Saint Realm Masters knew it. Leader of the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance, this matter has nothing to do with the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance, right? Saint Master Destruction said. Who said it has nothing to do with it? The leader of the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance said seriously, you should know that Heavenly Sword Marquis is also a Heaven-rank member of the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance, and he has been to the Heaven-Cleaving Mystic Realm before. He is quite close to the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance. If you want to kill him now, of course, you have to get the consent of the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance and my consent. In the Divine Beginning Realm, who do the three Saint Realms need to ask for permission to kill? What a joke! Flame Saint Master's voice was cold. Leader of the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance, you should be just an avatar, right? Destruction Saint Master looked over. Although your original body didn't go to the universe battlefield, it has been there for a long time and hasn't been able to escape. The three holy realms already know this. At most, you can only come as an avatar. What can a mere avatar do? Hearing this, the surrounding spectators were all enlightened. They really thought that the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance Master's original body had come, but now it seemed that it was just a consciousness clone. As everyone knew, a consciousness clone could only have about 30 to 40% of the original Buddha's strength. However, just 30 to 40% of the consciousness clone's aura was already so strong. If the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance's original body came personally, how strong would it be? Elder Mo Shan said that as long as I use this bamboo leaf, I can almost stay alive in the Divine Beginning Realm. He used two words, which means that there might be some changes. For example, I'm afraid this bamboo leaf can't completely protect my life when facing three masters of the Saint Realm at the same time. Jian Wushuang understood. The purple bamboo leaf given to him by the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance was extraordinary. It contained a consciousness clone of the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance Master. With this consciousness clone, no matter what kind of crisis he encountered in the Divine Beginning Realm, he should be able to resolve it. However, it was not absolute. After all, the crisis he was facing now was truly unique. Three great Saint Realm Masters had arrived at the same time. With such a situation, if it was just a consciousness clone of the leader of the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance, there was indeed no absolute guarantee. But fortunately, other than the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance Master's consciousness clone, he also had Elder Darkbone and the four Ancient Immortals as helpers. Elder Darkbone could barely hold back the Destruction Saint Master while the four Ancient Immortals blocked the Life and Death Saint Master. As long as the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance's consciousness clone dealt with the Destruction Saint Master, it would be enough. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 33:15 Unforeseen Circumstances, Elder Darkbone, you just need to think of a way to stall Flame Saint Master. As for Destruction Saint Master, let the consciousness avatar of the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance Master handle him, Jian Wushuang said. Okay. Elder Darkbone nodded slightly. Although I'm only a consciousness avatar and can only exert 30% of my original strength, I'm more than enough to deal with a mere Destruction Saint Master, the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance Master said in a low voice. Destruction Saint Master, come here and die. The Heaven-Cleaving Alliance Master was extremely domineering. He moved his body and instantly swept up a terrifying air current to suppress the void in front of him. The space instantly exploded and a huge heaven and earth storm formed out of thin air. In this heaven and earth storm, the consciousness clone of the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance Master was already fighting with Destruction Saint Master, while on the other side, Elder Darkbone was also fighting with Flame Saint Master. A terrifying power swept out. Jian Wushuang, the experts of the Temporal Temple, and the three Saint Realm camps had long retreated to the edge of the battlefield. They knew very well that a battle of this level was not something they could be involved in. Humph, do you think you can protect Heavenly Sword Marquis by stopping the three of us? Dream on. In the middle of the battlefield, the cold snort of Flame Saint Master suddenly came out. Flame Divine Guard, kill Heavenly Sword Marquis. Flame Divine Guard? Temple Master Bai Xing's expression changed. In the front of the battlefield, 4 figures covered in flames suddenly rushed out. These 4 figures were like 4 inferno demon gods, carrying shocking demonic power and crazily attacking Jian Wushuang. When the 4 inferno demon gods attacked, the experts of the 3 saint realms, the sorcerer god sect, and the 9-tailed clan also attacked. A chaotic battle broke out again. We're in big trouble. Temple Master Bai Xing looked at the 4 flame demon gods at the front with an ugly expression. Flame Divine Guards? Flame Saint Master actually brought 4 flame divine guards with him? Ba Zong clenched his teeth. Temple Master, what are these flame divine guards? Jian Wushuang asked with a frown. Flame Divine Guards, as the name implies, are the guards around the Flame Saint Master. They are human cultivators, but they have been specially refined to become half-human and half-puppet monsters. In the Flame Saint Master, the Flame Divine Guards only obey the orders of the Flame Saint Master. There are many times when the Flame Saint Master is not convenient to deal with things personally, so most of them are dealt with by the Flame Divine Guards under his command. The strength of the Flame Divine Guards is generally very high. Under normal circumstances, a single Flame Divine Guard is in existence at the 5th level of the Void. However, these 4 Flame Divine Guards before us can transform into blazing Inferno Devil Gods that are covered in flames. This clearly shows that they have already reached the peak of the 5th level of the Void. Palace Master Bai Xing's voice was low. In terms of strength, even though our temporal temple is as far away as Master Lin Guang's 10-man team, it still can't compare to the 3 great saint-level factions. Previously, it was only because of Elder Dark Bone's existence that we were able to hold back several peak-level saint-level experts. But now, Elder Dark Bone is fighting with the Sacred Master of Fire, and the 3 great saint-level factions have 4 more Flame Divine Guards. This battle prowess completely surpasses ours. Ba Zong said. Drag it out, we can only think of a way to drag it out. Temple Master Bai Xing's voice was cold as he looked around. Everyone, try to drag it out as long as possible. As long as we can drag it out until the Temple Master arrives, this crisis will be resolved. Drag it out, drag it out. Do not engage in a head-on battle. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website My Novelful. Thanks. Be careful, protect Heavenly Sword Marquis. The many experts of the Temporal Temple had already seen the situation clearly at this moment. The situation was more dangerous than before, and the gap in strength between the 2 sides was even greater. Especially the 4 Flame Divine Guards who had been entangled by the experts of the 3 Saint Realms. These 4 Flame Divine Guards could run amok on the battlefield. No one could stop them. The 4 Flame Divine Guards were not hindered at all and directly charged at Jian Wushuang. Haha, Heavenly Sword Marquis, they'll see if you're still alive. At the same time, the Sky Nether Master and several people from the Sorcerer God sect were also charging toward Jian Wushuang. Seeing this scene, Jian Wushuang's pupils constricted. The gap between the strength of the lineup is too big. I can't rely on the experts of the Temporal Temple to stop them for me. I can only rely on myself. Visit Rietal. Me for extra chapters. Jian Wushuang clenched his hands and secretly sent a message. Senior Blood Wave, I need your help. Little guy, I've seen your current situation. If you want to resolve this crisis, you need a lot of help. The biggest help I can give you now is to give you all the remaining power in the Blood Wave realm so that you can reach a new level in a short time. But the price is that my Blood Wave realm will collapse. From now on, I can't give you any more help in this realm. In addition, the power you are given by force will be a great burden to you. You must try your best to resist the backlash of this power. Otherwise, if you are not careful, your divine body will directly collapse. Even if you are a perfect level life form, you will still be unable to withstand it and may die. So, you have to think carefully. Blood Wave immediately replied. I'm in a critical situation now. I can only fight. There's no need to think too much about it, Jian Wushuang said directly. Well, get ready. The power, "'Tis coming." Blood Wave's voice sounded in Jian Wushuang's mind. On the surface of the sea, the originally completely collapsed Saha Island had completely collapsed. However, no one noticed that there was still a small piece of land on the surface of the sea that was intact. Even if there was a strong shockwave that affected the small piece of land, it did not cause much damage to the land. The reason for this was that there was a special magic array on the land, which was connected to the Blood Wave realm. At this moment, as the sound of Blood Wave rang in Jian Wushuang's mind, a vast power suddenly surged out from the small piece of land. Walala! An endless blood-red light swept out from the formation of the land. The blood-red light was extremely dazzling and instantly illuminated the world, causing the entire world to sink into the color of blood. The blood-red light spread out, and a suffocating power spread out, causing the entire battlefield to fall into a short period of silence. Many experts on the battlefield looked at this sudden change in surprise. Except for Jian Wushuang, no one knew why the blood light spread out. No one knew why the sudden change happened. However, under everyone's shocked gaze, the surging blood light directly covered Jian Wushuang. In the blink of an eye, it had covered Jian Wushuang and formed a blood cocoon that could be seen with the naked eye. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 33:16. The Power of a Sword. What is this? On the battlefield, the experts from both sides saw the blood cocoon and were puzzled. This is caused by Heavenly Sword Marquis again. What is he doing? Star River Master frowned. Since the beginning of the battle, there had been many changes on the battlefield, many of which were caused by Jian Wushuang alone. Although Jian Wushuang's strength was not taken seriously by Star River Master, he was still afraid of his trump cards and methods. For example, Jian Wushuang took out the Mountain River Map Universe Supreme Treasure and guided the strongest moves of Palace Master Shuiyun and Palace Master Askance. Just now, he even guided the consciousness avatar of Heaven Cleaving Alliance Master. Jian Wushuang had too many methods. Now, the sudden change and the appearance of the blood cocoon clearly had something to do with Jian Wushuang. Humph, who cares what tricks he has? No matter how powerful he is, he can't possibly have the battle strength above the sixth realm of the void all of a sudden. If we all attack together, hell die. The Sky Nether Master snorted. In an instant he and the 4 divine flame guards charged out. Buzz. The blood light that filled the skies slowly dissipated, and the blood cocoon gradually disappeared. Jian Wushuang's figure was once again revealed to everyone. At this moment, Jian Wushuang did not seem to have changed at first glance. However, only Jian Wushuang knew how much he had changed compared to just now. This power, Jian Wushuang held his hands. He could feel the unparalleled power that had appeared in his body. This power was too strong, too strong. It was so strong that Jian Wushuang did not know how strong it was. However, he knew that he was hundreds, thousands of times stronger than before. I have a feeling that I can easily kill the principal's master now, Jian Wushuang murmured. He looked at the 4 flame divine guards in front of him. The Sky Nether Master and the others had already arrived in front of him. Boy die! The Sky Nether Master's killing intent was shocking. Although the 4 flame divine guards did not speak, their bodies were covered in flames. As they attacked, the suffocating hot aura swept toward Jian Wushuang. Heavenly Sword Marquis, be careful. Retreat. Not far away, Temple Master Bai Xing and Ba Zong shouted at the same time. However, Jian Wushuang did not have any intention of retreating. Come on, let me see how strong I am now. Jian Wushuang suddenly raised his head, and a fierce light flashed in his eyes. His body also trembled. At this moment, a terrifying aura that could make heaven and earth submit suddenly erupted from Jian Wushuang's body. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website MyBox Novel. Thanks. This aura immediately suppressed the Flame Divine Guard and the others in front of him. What? Sky Nether Master's expression changed greatly. Jian Wushuang had already made his move. Clang. Blood Mountain Sword was unsheathed, and a shocking sword essence condensed in his hand. I feel that this space seems to be very weak now, Jian Wushuang muttered, and the Blood Mountain Sword in his hand directly swept out. The sword edge swept across the void, and the solid space was cut open like a piece of paper. What was frightening was that Jian Wushuang's sword did not just barely cut open the space, but after it was cut open, the sword shadow continued to sweep down. The space crack became bigger and bigger, and in the blink of an eye, it had spread to more than 100 meters. With a casual swing of his sword, he sliced open a spatial crack that was over 100 meters wide. His sword's shadow also became incomparably huge. In an instant, it swept over the bodies of the 4 Flame Divine Guards, Sky Nether Master, and the others. It was as if the sound of a blade entering one's body rang out. The raging flames surrounding the bodies of the 4 Flame Divine Guards were instantly extinguished. Their devil might also completely dissipated, and their bodies had already been cut into 2 halves. Then the power of the sword light did not decrease. The same scene also appeared in the Sky Nether Master and with the Sky Nether Master to kill a few Principal's Masters. No! The Sky Nether Master only had time to let out a roar, and his body had already split into 2. After his body split, his consciousness also began to be annihilated. His immortal body, under this sword, did not make any difference. Buzz. The sword light completely dissipated, that was cut hundreds of meters of space cracks began to slowly converge. But on the way, the 4 Flame Divine Guards, as well as the Sky Nether Master and a few other principals, have died on the spot. The power of a sword, so terrible. Silence. The battlefield where the 2 sides had fought fiercely fell into a dead silence at this moment. Other than the sound of the intense battle between the 3 Saint Realm Masters, the 4 Ancient Immortals, the consciousness incarnation of the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance Master, and Elder Darkbone, the other places were completely silent. Whether it was the Temporal Temple or the 3 Saint Realm camps, as well as the countless experts who were watching the battle, their eyes were wide open as they watched this scene in disbelief. Unbelievable! The scene before them was indeed unbelievable. It was almost impossible to happen. What did I just see? That Heavenly Sword Marquis killed 4 Flame Divine Guards with a single sword strike, and he even killed the Sky Nether Master? It's fake. This is an illusion. Who cast this illusion on us? This is really not an illusion? Countless experts murmured. They knew that what they saw was not an illusion, but they still did not want to believe what they had seen. Because it was too incredible. Heavenly Sword Marquis was, after all, just an immortal saint. They could barely accept the fact that he was able to challenge experts in the 2nd and 3rd realms of the Void Realm by relying on his tyrannical means. Then, Jian Wushuang took out his many trump cards, causing the battle to go from bad to worse. They could tolerate this. After all, a trump card did not represent Jian Wushuang's own strength. But now, he killed 4 Flame Divine Guards and the Sky Nether Master with 1 sword strike. No one could accept this. After all, the 4 Flame Divine Guards and the Nether Master were all at the peak of the 5th realm of the Void. Even experts at the peak of the 6th realm of the Void could hardly kill them in a one-on-one fight, not to mention killing all of them with a single sword. This was definitely not something that a Principal's Master could do. If one wanted to achieve even the slightest bit of this, they would at least need the combat strength of a Saint Realm Master. No, even a Saint Realm Master might not be able to do it. Above the Saint Realm Master, is it the legendary ruler level? Palace Master Bai Xing asked in astonishment. Chapter 33:17 Other Fortuitous Encounters? Underscore this place was inside the Bloodwave realm. At the end of the boundless darkness, the consciousness of Bloodwave stood there. He could only watch as the boundless darkness around him started to end, and the dark space started to crack. At the same time, the entire Bloodwave realm also started to collapse crazily. Even the Bloodwave Palace, the land of opportunity that countless undying saints longed for, the complete heavenly Tao that had formed a stable cycle earlier had lost its past glory. A large number of law energies began to become chaotic. It became violent. Gradually, The complete heavenly Tao cycle shattered. This also meant that the final opportunity within the blood wave realm had vanished. The entire blood wave realm was about to be completely destroyed. The blood wave realm that has existed for so many years is finally about to disappear. Blood Wave's consciousness watched everything quietly. His heart was extremely calm, and there was not the slightest ripple. To be able to find and help a perfect grade life form, the destruction of the blood wave realm is worth it. Heavenly Sword Marquis, this power of yours is forcefully bestowed upon you by the blood wave realm. Furthermore, this power is ultimately not yours. Therefore, while you are controlling this power is also continuously draining. Before long, it will be completely exhausted. Therefore, you have to seize this opportunity. I have already done my best to help you. As for whether you can escape this crisis, it is up to you. Kid, remember this. You're already a member of the Life Palace. If you're strong enough, you must go to the deepest part of the universe. You must go to the Life Palace. There's a special life form like you that must complete the mission. Remember this. While Blood Wave was talking, his body was fading away. After he finished speaking, his body completely disappeared. At this moment, the Blood Wave realm was completely destroyed. From then on, there would no longer be an opportunity like the Blood Wave realm in the Divine Beginning realm. Thank you, Elder Blood Wave. Jian Wushuang was still standing on the battlefield. He had received Blood Wave's final message and was filled with gratitude. Then, he raised his head and looked around the battlefield. Because of the explosion of his sword just now, everyone was shocked. The experts from both sides, who had been standing together again, were now separated again. Everyone's eyes were on him. The experts from the 3 Saint Realms, the Sorcerer God Sect, and the Nine-Tailed Clan all wanted to kill him, but no one dared to attack him again because Jian Wushuang's sword just now had shocked everyone. No one knew whether Jian Wushuang could use that attack again. Jian Wushuang's expression suddenly changed, and he looked at the battlefield next to him. It was the battle between Elder Darkbone and Flame Saint Master. Flame Saint Master was a real master of the Saint Realm. Although Elder Darkbone was very old, powerful, and had many skills, he was still far from a real master of the Saint Realm. He only relied on his special skills to barely tangle with Flame Saint Master. But now, he was in a very dangerous situation. Jian Wushuang rushed into the battlefield in a flash and appeared beside Elder Darkbone. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website MyBox Novel. Thanks. Elder Darkbone, you go down and recover. Leave Flame Saint Master to me, Jian Wushuang said. Leave him to you? Elder Darkbone frowned and looked at Jian Wushuang. He had noticed that Jian Wushuang had killed 4 Divine Flame Guards and Sky Nether Master with 1 sword strike while he was fighting with the Flame Saint Master. Moreover, he was standing beside Jian Wushuang now. He could feel the shocking aura from Jian Wushuang and nodded immediately. Okay, be careful. With that, Elder Darkbone retreated to the side. In the void, Jian Wushuang and Flame Saint Master were separated by a distance. Yao Yao was holding her sword. Jian Wushuang held his sword with one hand. The aura from his body was far superior to that of a principal's master. As for Flame Saint Master, he was completely immersed in the sea of flames. He was the absolute flame dominator. His pupils contracted and released an astonishing killing intent. Heavenly Sword Marquis, how did you get this power? The Flame Saint Master stared at Jian Wushuang. He did not believe that this power belonged to Jian Wushuang. Even though he was a perfect grade life form, he was someone who even feared the power of the will of heaven and had to be killed. However, no matter how heaven-defying he was, he could not possess such tyrannical power at the level of a saint. Can you guess? Jian Wushuang gave a strange smile. Humph, in the Divine Beginning realm, there are no more than 5 people who can possess such power. However, even if they have such power, they can't pour it into your body and let you control it. The people who can do this must be beyond the scope of the Divine Beginning realm. You just came out of the Blood Wave realm, and you got a great opportunity in the Blood Wave realm. Your strength has improved greatly, and you can fight against an expert of the 3rd realm of the Void with the Immortal Saint realm. Therefore, You must have had other opportunities in the Blood Wave realm. Your power must be related to the Blood Wave realm. Yes. Flame Saint Master said in a deep voice. Flame Saint Master was indeed very prepared. He directly guessed that Jian Wushuang's power was related to the Blood Wave realm. Upon hearing Flame Saint Master's words, the surrounding experts who were watching the battle were all stunned. Blood Wave realm. Did Heavenly Sword Marquis encounter other opportunities in the Blood Wave realm? It's very possible. Otherwise, how could he become so powerful after coming out of the Blood Wave realm? He is clearly an immortal saint, but he can actually fight against a principal's master of the 3 void realms. Even if he had great ability beyond his realm, it's impossible for him to be so powerful. Thanks. This Heavenly Sword Marquis is really blessed. I wonder what he has gained in the Blood Wave realm. Voices of discussion spread throughout the void. Jian Wushuang, however, smiled faintly. Flame Saint Master, you're indeed very smart, but it's useless. I won't waste any more words with you. I've long known that you 3 masters of the Saint Realm are extremely powerful. Today, I'd like to experience it. Just you? Flame Saint Master looked down at Jian Wushuang. Just me. Jian Wushuang smiled, but his eyes became cold. Senior Blood Wave is right. Although I have extremely powerful strength now, it's too much for my divine body. It's also constantly flowing. Just when I used that sword move, I felt the divine power in my body surging, as if it was going to explode completely. I can't hold on for long in my current state. Before the power in my body disappears, I must at least find out how big the gap is between me and the 3 masters of the Saint Realm. Chapter 33:18 Battle Flame Saint Master, let's fight. With a low roar, Jian Wushuang rushed out. You're courting death. The Flame Saint Master was extremely powerful. The moment he saw Jian Wushuang, he waved his hand. Boom! A scorching aura surged out. A huge sea of fire appeared in the void in front of the Flame Saint Master. In this sea of fire, scorching scarlet golden flames were burning fiercely. The space was easily burned. When the surrounding experts saw the scarlet golden sea of fire, they could not help but shudder. They felt that even a wisp of scarlet golden flames from the scarlet golden sea of fire could easily burn a principal's master to ashes. But now, this huge sea of fire, it covered Jian Wushuang completely. Break! The sea of fire attacked. Jian Wushuang spat out a word and slashed down with his Blood Mountain sword. This sword was not very powerful, but at the moment it was slashed, the sword light instantly passed through the entire sea of fire. A path had been cut open in the huge sea of fire, and a large amount of scarlet gold flames swept out in all directions. In the split path of the sea of fire, a figure flashed past, and Jian Wushuang appeared in front of Flame Saint Master. 9th Firmament Illusionary Sword Realm. There were 9 sword glows, each of which was extremely fast and carried a shocking power as they slashed toward Flame Saint Master. Flame Saint Master's eyes were cold as he wielded the long golden staff in his hand. Clang, clang, clang. A series of clanging sounds rang out as the two collided 9 times in an instant. After the 9 collisions, the flames on Flame Saint Master's body had dimmed significantly. His body also retreated rapidly. On the other hand, Jian Wushuang did not stop at all. In terms of power, I'm stronger than him. Jian Wushuang's eyes sparkled. After the first exchange, he had already realized that he was stronger than Flame Saint Master purely in terms of power. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website MyBox Novel. Thanks. Ruler level. Flame Saint Master narrowed his eyes and stared at Jian Wushuang. This kid really has the power of a ruler. Although I have the power of the will of heaven, there is still a gap between me and a ruler level. However, this kid only has strength, but in terms of his absolute arts and techniques, he can't be compared to a real ruler. As long as I'm not stupid enough to fight him head-on, I can easily crush him. A cold light flashed in Flame Saint Master's eyes. In the next moment, the sea of scarlet gold fire swept toward Jian Wushuang again. However, under the guidance of Flame Saint Master, the sea of scarlet gold fire seemed to come to life and was completely alive. Bush, bush, bush. Golden red pillars of fire extended out from the sea of fire. Each pillar of fire was like a chain, crazily attacking Jian Wushuang from all directions. Jian Wushuang immediately brandished his sword to defend himself. Although he could directly defeat these golden red pillars of fire with the power of his swordsmanship, there were many of them. Moreover, they were very fast and flexible. One of them was defeated, more fire pillars immediately formed around Jian Wushuang, forcing him into a very difficult situation. While Jian Wushuang was completely suppressed by the fire pillars, a strange figure suddenly appeared behind him. It was the Flame Saint Master, who had already merged into the sea of fire. The Flame Saint Master waved the long red gold staff with one hand, and in an instant, it smashed toward Jian Wushuang's divine body like a bolt of golden lightning. Oh no! Jian Wushuang's expression changed. He had already sensed the astonishing power coming from behind him. He immediately turned around and blocked the Blood Mountain sword with great difficulty, ignoring the strikes of the scarlet gold fire pillars in front of him. Bang! With a loud sound, both of Jian Wushuang's arms went numb and his body shook. His qi and blood churned, and he retreated in a sorry state. It took him a long time to regain his balance. Ha boy, although you have obtained a power comparable to that of a ruler through the Bloodwave realm, you only have the power of your own body. Your comprehension of the principles, the understanding of the Tao, and the skills you have created are still at the level of the immortal saint. It's like having a peerless sword that can cut through iron like mud, but in the hands of an infant, you can't use it. You only have your strength now, but you can't use it perfectly. Under such circumstances, it's easy for me to kill you. Flame Saint Master sneered. He merged into the crimson gold sea of fire again. The crimson gold sea of fire surged toward Jian Wushuang again. Jian Wushuang's face darkened as he looked around coldly. Flame Saint Master is right. Although I have invincible power above the Principal's Master, I can't use it fully with my strength. I can't compete with Flame Saint Master. I can only rely on brute force to suppress him. Jian Wushuang had already made up his mind. Just as the scarlet gold sea of fire was sweeping toward him, he suddenly retreated. While he was retreating, a series of special hand seals were struck out. Mountain River Map. Mountain River as palm, 9 regions as seal. True Emperor Seal. Jian Wushuang's eyes burst with a fierce light. Boom! The world suddenly shook. In the highest part of the sky, the scroll world formed by the Mountain River Map had always existed. At this moment, a supreme power slowly condensed from the scroll world. This power could only be described as shocking. The moment this power began to condense, the countless experts watching the battle below all raised their heads in horror. At this moment, they felt a terrifying power that terrified them, as if they were about to be completely annihilated by the power. Then, a huge handprint slowly descended from the scroll world. 9 region seal. It was one of the secret skills of the Mountain River Map. The Mountain River Map was a top-tier universe supreme treasure, and its secret skill was extremely powerful. It was only because Jian Wushuang was too weak before, he could not fully display the power of these secret skills. But now it was different. Although his realm was not very high, the power he had now was at the ruler level. Chapter 33:19. Supreme Seal _ A huge handprint slowly appeared in the scroll world, as if it was going to destroy the world. The true Emperor Seal of the 9 region seal. This handprint directly crushed toward the void where Jian Wushuang was. Of course, the entire true Emperor Seal was under Jian Wushuang's control, so this handprint naturally could not hurt Jian Wushuang. However, it crushed the golden red sea of fire around him. Boom! Under the pressure of the true Emperor Seal, the golden red sea of fire seemed to be completely extinguished, and endless flames swept out in all directions. Finally, the power of the true Emperor Seal was completely exhausted, and the palm slowly disappeared from the world. However, although there were still some flames around Jian Wushuang, the sea of fire no longer existed. Buzz! In the void not far away, Flame Saint Master's figure condensed again. He glanced at the scroll world and his eyes darkened. 9-region seal? Flame Saint Master knew about the 9-region seal. After all, the Mountain River map was one of the most important battle strength of the 7-star Mysterious Sect when the 3 Saint Realms destroyed the 7-star Mysterious Sect during the world-ending war. However, it was Xian Yi who controlled the map at that time. Flame Saint Master, you're right. It's difficult for me to fully display my current strength with my own skills, but I can do it with the help of the Mountain River map. Jian Wushuang stared at Flame Saint Master. Since you know about the 9-region seal, you should be able to see that I just used the true Emperor seal. Now, try my Supreme Seal again. Jian Wushuang looked into the cave. The terrifying power on his body condensed again, and one special seal after another was struck out. Rumble. The world shook, and in the scroll world at the top, a stronger power began to condense again. The 9-region seal had the strongest 3 seals: Divine Emperor, True Emperor, and Supreme Seal. The True Emperor seal that Jian Wushuang just used was only the second move of the 9-region seal. The Supreme Seal was the most powerful manifestation of the secret skill of the 9-region seal. Boom! Another huge handprint extended from the scroll world. This handprint covered the sky and seemed to cover everything below. All the experts under this handprint, whether they were immortal saints or principles masters, were terrified at this moment. The terrifying power contained within this hand seal was not something that even the Lords of Edicts could come into contact with. Even if dozens or even hundreds of them were gathered together, they probably would not be able to face such incredible power. An autarch seal. It's been many years since I've encountered one. Flame Saint Master stood beneath the enormous hand seal, staring upward with an abnormally cold gaze. I just don't know who is stronger and who is weaker than the Paragon seal that your master used back then. A large amount of flames surged from Flame Saint Master's body. These flames contained endless darkness and coldness. Voila, the void collapsed. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website My Novelful. Thanks. Flame Saint Master had not attacked yet, but that formless power had already caused the surrounding void to explode. In his hand, the golden staff suddenly expanded in size, as if it had turned into a heavenly pillar. In an instant, it stabbed toward the huge hand seal above. Boom! The huge hand seal had a hole in its center, but it was unable to completely pierce through the hand seal. The huge hand seal continued to press down on the golden staff and continued to cover the Flame Saint Master. Rise! Flame Saint Master shouted, and an even more violent purple-gold flame suddenly surged in the world. In terms of power level, this purple-gold flame was clearly stronger than the scarlet-gold flame that Flame Saint Master had used previously. Endless purple-gold flame condensed, and in the blink of an eye, it formed a huge flame demon god. This flame demon god was 1,000 feet long true treasure, and it had 4 huge and thick arms. After it was formed, it let out a crazy roar, and its 4 arms directly lifted up to support the huge hand seal that was slowly crushing over. No matter how powerful the palm was, it could not suppress it any further. Visit Rietal. Me for extra chapters. Break for me. The eyes of Flame Saint Master lit up, and the huge blazing flame demonic god opened its mouth and roared. At the same time, a purplish gold light of destruction erupted from the mouth of the blazing flame demonic god, directly piercing through the palm. The huge palm finally began to collapse, and a large amount of power began to spread in all directions. Heavenly Sword Marquis, it seems that the power of your 9-region seal is still not as powerful as your master Xian Yi's? Your master used the Supreme Seal to crush us with absolute superiority. Flame Saint Master laughed heartily. Jian Wushuang's face was cold and unmoved. He knew very well that the current him could not be compared to his master at his peak. When his master Xian Yi was at his peak, he had created the heaven-cleaving technique and was an invincible existence that could fight against heaven and earth. He was able to crush the 3 masters of the Saint Realm by himself. Moreover, his master's grasp of the Mountain and River Society map had long reached the limit. On the other hand, he was only an immortal saint. It was only because of the help of Bloodwave that he was able to possess the power of a ruler for a short period of time. Other than this power, the current him, he could not compare to his master at all. His control of the mountain and river map was also the same. Although he had used the Supreme Seal, it was still not the strongest power. Flame Saint Master, it's too early for you to be happy. Jian Wushuang stared at Flame Saint Master with a cold gaze. In addition to the mountain and river map, I also obtained a very unique divine ability in the heaven-cleaving mystic realm of the heaven-cleaving alliance. I was too weak before and could not use the real power of this divine ability. Now, I can use you to test this divine ability of mine. As soon as Jian Wushuang's voice fell, a large amount of power of the samsara principles rose from his body. The samsara principles. His comprehension of the samsara principles had only reached the limit of the immortal saint, and he had not completely comprehended it. Logically, under such circumstances, he should not be able to unleash the true power of the 6 paths of reincarnation secret skill. It was impossible for him to unleash the true power of this secret skill. Jian Wushuang was very clear on this point. However, the 6 paths of reincarnation secret skill was too powerful. In addition, Jian Wushuang's strength and power had already reached the overlord level. Relying on such power to use the 6 paths of reincarnation secret skill, it would definitely be very terrifying. Of course, the most critical problem was that among the many techniques Jian Wushuang had, only the secret skill in the mountain river map and the 6 paths of reincarnation secret skill were qualified to threaten the Flame Saint Master. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 3320, Hungry Ghost Dao _ 6 Paths of Reincarnation, Hell Dao, Extreme Cold Hell. With a wave of Jian Wushuang's hand, buzz. Divine power burst out. The space in the vast world was completely frozen, followed by cracking sounds, and the void exploded inch by inch. This burst of void cannot be a powerful force directly read open or torn, but at the moment spread around the terrible cold, directly frozen space burst. Even a stable space like the divine beginning realm could be frozen to the point of bursting. One could imagine just how intense this cold that filled heaven and earth was. Cold hell, it is cold to the extreme. When Jian Wushuang was still weak, the power of this move was not too terrifying. However, Jian Wushuang still relied on this move to kill a rank 7 true saint despite being only a rank 4 true saint. Now he used the same move. However, Jian Wushuang's power was now at the ruler level. Even though his comprehension of the reincarnation principles was not very strong, this move was still extremely terrifying. This is too cold. We are already far away from the battlefield, but I still feel so cold. It's as if my soul is going to be completely frozen. I wonder how cold the center of the battlefield is. Such a terrible cold. I'm afraid that any rule master who enters the area will be instantly frozen into an ice sculpture. The experts watching the battle in the surroundings could already sense the extreme cold in the air ahead, and their hearts were filled with shock. Flame Saint Master, who was at the center of the battlefield, was naturally facing the corrosion of this extreme cold. However, Flame Saint Master only smiled coldly. Corrosion of cold? I have to say that this technique of yours is indeed extraordinary, but it's a pity that you used the wrong person. As soon as Flame Saint Master finished speaking, raging flames immediately surged around him. These flames were still purple gold in color and burned the space crazily, releasing an incredible temperature. Flame Saint Master was famous for his flames in the divine beginning realm. His many methods contained terrifying flames that could burn everything. If Jian Wushuang's extreme cold hell was extremely cold, then the flames around Flame Saint Master were extremely hot and violent. The two were completely opposite, but they could contend against each other. Now, a large amount of purple gold flames swept up around the Flame Saint Master, crazily resisting the erosion of the surrounding coldness. The Flame Saint Master, who was in the middle of the flames, was not affected at all. Seeing this, Jian Wushuang was not too surprised. The first two levels of the Hell Dao, the extreme hot hell and the extreme cold hell, were only the most shallow two of the 6 secret skills of reincarnation. It was normal that they could not do anything to the Flame Saint Master. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website My Novelful. Thanks. Buzz. With a thought from Jian Wushuang, the cold air in the sky disappeared and was replaced by boundless darkness. Yes, it was darkness. The darkness was boundless and there was no light at all. It was like a boundless void. The Flame Saint Master had completely fallen into the boundless dark void. As for Jian Wushuang, he stood outside the boundless dark void and quietly watched the scene inside. Hell Dao, Lonely Hell. This move was aimed at Jian Wushuang's state of mind and consciousness. Previously, he had used it in the Blood Wave realm and almost made Thunder God, who was much stronger than him, fall into madness. Now, it was Flame Saint Master who was facing this move. Ha! You want to affect my state of mind? How ridiculous! Flame Saint Master, who had fallen into the lonely hell, suddenly let out a hearty laugh. His body trembled slightly and he did not use any other means. However, the boundless darkness around him had begun to retreat crazily. In just a moment, it had completely disappeared. Jian Wushuang's lonely hell had completely disintegrated. As expected of a master of the Saint Realm. He was the supreme overlord of the divine beginning realm countless years ago. After living for so many years, his state of mind has long been unshakable. My lonely hell cannot affect him at all. Jian Wushuang sighed secretly. Heavenly Sword Marquis, you still have some tricks up your sleeve. Go ahead and use them. Flame Saint Master looked at Jian Wushuang with a sneer. As you wish. Jian Wushuang did not hesitate. Vast power began to gather in his body again. The 6 paths of reincarnation, hell alone, can't affect Flame Saint Master. In that case, it's up to the Hungry Ghost path. The first path of the 6 paths of reincarnation was the Hell path. Visit Readle.me for extra chapters. The second path was the Hungry Ghost path. The Hungry Ghost path was much more terrifying than the Hell path. Jian Wushuang had not been able to master it before he entered the Blood Wave realm. However, after his trip to the Blood Wave realm, his strength had greatly increased, and his comprehension of the samsara principles had also greatly improved. This move, he could barely use it. Hell's Gate, open. Jian Wushuang suddenly pointed to the void next to him, and a large amount of the power of the samsara principles swept out in an instant. The void was originally very calm, but under Jian Wushuang's finger, the void began to tremble slowly. The trembling became more and more intense. Gradually, a crack slowly appeared in the center of the void, and an extremely unique aura was emitted from the crack. This aura seemed to come from the demon abyss. It was extremely cold and evil. The evil made everyone present frown. As the crack grew larger, it was as if a void door had been opened. The already shocking evil aura reached its peak at this moment. Evil Ghost Dao, descend. Jian Wushuang's eyes flashed with a sharp light. A low roar that seemed to come from hell suddenly sounded from the other end of the void gate. The roar directly shook the souls of countless experts present. The moment they heard the low roar, all the experts present felt their scalps go numb. Then, under everyone's gaze, a sharp blood-red claw suddenly stretched out from the other end of the void gate and grabbed the void gate around it. It was obvious that it wanted to struggle out of the void gate. Soon, the body of a gigantic monster with an extremely strange structure appeared before everyone's eyes. This monster had an incomparably huge head, but its body was extremely thin and weak. Its entire body was covered in blood, and its 2 palms were at least 100 feet long. The most eye-catching part was on the head of this monster. It had no nose, no ears, only a bloody mouth and a scarlet eye that almost took up half of its face. Your extreme coldness and evil aura was emitted from this monster, and at this moment, it made people shudder. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: You can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 3321, Yimo, Roar. The monster had completely broken free from the void gate and appeared in the center of the battlefield. With a roar, the world shook. The surrounding experts looked at the monster in horror. What is this? What an evil aura. It's the first time I've seen such an evil aura. Is this also the work of Heavenly Sword Marquis? What method did he use? Exclamations sounded in the air. Is this the Yimo from the universe void? Jian Wushuang looked at the monster in horror. The 6 paths of reincarnation and the 3rd level of the Tao of Hell were all special attacks. The Hungry Ghost Path was a special summoning skill that could summon evil spirits for its own use. Of course, the evil spirits summoned by the Hungry Ghost Path could not be the evil spirits in the Samsara Hell. Instead, it summoned an extremely terrifying creature, the Yimo, which was active in the vast universe void. The Yimo, this name was very common in the Divine Beginning realm. Although the experts of the Divine Beginning realm had adventured in the universe battlefield, most of them only roamed around and had never really entered the deepest part of the universe. Yimo only existed in the deepest part of the universe, and it was very rare. Even those experts who roamed in the deepest part of the universe all year round rarely encountered it. Therefore, the Divine Beginning realm had never interacted with the Yimo. They did not know what the Yimo was. Jian Wushuang only learned about the existence of the Yimo after he mastered the Hungry Ghost Path. Moreover, the Yimo in the void of the universe was born for destruction. They were extremely evil, and their living desire was to destroy all living things they encountered. However, the Hungry Ghost Path could forcibly control a Yimo and pass through the void gate. It could summon it to the battlefield where it was and listen to its orders. For example, the Yimo that had struggled out of the void gate now completely listened to Jian Wushuang's orders. The Yimo is born for destruction and is extremely terrifying. I wonder how strong the Yimo that I have summoned through the Hungry Ghost Path is? Jian Wushuang had a trace of anticipation in his heart. He immediately pointed with his right hand and gave the order, "Kill him!" Roar! The Yimo immediately roared in response to Jian Wushuang's order. The next moment, thwoosh, the huge body of the Yimo suddenly rushed out. It was such a huge body, but the surrounding spectators could not see it clearly. It was as if the Yimo had disappeared into thin air. It's too fast. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website mynovelful.com. Thanks. What kind of speed is this? It's actually this fast? Countless experts widened their eyes. Even the Flame Saint Master was shocked by the speed that the Yimo had unleashed. This was because before he could react, the Yimo had already appeared before him. Furthermore, that sharp scarlet claw had already clawed at his head. An endless evil aura rushed over. The Flame Saint Master's body immediately surged with endless purple-gold flames, crazily sweeping toward the Yimo in front of him. However, under the attack of the Yimo's claw, the purple-gold flames immediately dissipated. The sharp claw was not hindered in the slightest, and continued to claw toward Flame Saint Master. Scram! Flame Saint Master let out a low growl, and the scarlet gold long rod in his hand fiercely smashed out. His shocking might instantly reached its peak. Ding! The scarlet gold long rod and the Yimo's sharp claw collided head-on. After a low collision sound, the Yimo's figure rolled backwards explosively, but Flame Saint Master himself also retreated continuously. Amazing! It's actually on par with Flame Saint Master? What kind of monster is this? How can it be so powerful? Is there such a terrifying monster in the Divine Beginning realm? The onlookers could not help exclaiming in surprise. Jian Wushuang's eyes also lit up. As expected of a Yimo born for destruction. Its strength is really terrifying. It's not at all like Flame Saint Master. Moreover, the most terrifying thing about the Yimo is not its attack, but its speed. As expected, after a head-on clash, the Yimo's speed completely erupted. So. Visit Readle.me for extra chapters. The huge body of the Yimo could be seen crazily moving about in the void. It clearly had such a huge body and should have been extremely eye-catching. However, when the body of the Yimo moved, the surrounding experts who were watching the battle, including those principal's masters, none of them could see the body of the Yimo clearly. They could barely see a blood shadow moving freely in the void. While this blood shadow moved freely in the void, it also attacked the Flame Saint Master time and time again. The Yimo's attacking methods were very terrifying. It could not only rely on the sharp claws of its two hands to launch attacks. Its feet, its huge body, its mouth, its eyes, everything on its body, it could use deadly attacks. The Yimo that was born to destroy the world could not be compared to the beasts or fierce beasts in the divine beginning realm. Swish, 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 swish. The Yimo's body flashed and attacked crazily again and again. Each attack was extremely fast and violent, containing the power to destroy the world. Even the Flame Saint Master did not dare to resist the Yimo's attack, he could only try his best to resist. However, the Flame Saint Master could not keep up with the Yimo's speed at all. Facing the crazy attack of the Yimo, he could only defend himself, but he did not have any ability to counterattack. In just a moment, the Sacred Master of Fire was attacked by the Yimo. He was already in a terrible state. Bastard, where did this monster come from? How could it be so terrifying? The Flame Saint Master gritted his teeth, and his face turned red. He was a Saint Realm Master, one of the strongest existences in the divine beginning realm, but in front of so many experts, how could he be suppressed by a monster from God knows where? Of course, this made him angry. However, no matter how angry he was, he had to admit that this monster's strength was too terrifying. In a one-on-one fight, he was indeed no match for this monster. Even this monster could not do anything to it, let alone kill Jian Wushuang. Damn it! Flame Saint Master cursed in his heart, but he suddenly retreated. While retreating, Flame Saint Master looked at the void beside him. Sorcerer God, how long do you plan to wait? Hurry up and lend me a hand. Flame Saint Master's voice echoed throughout the battlefield. Hearing this, all the experts present were stunned. Sorcerer God? Is it the sect master of the Sorcerer God sect? The sect master of the Sorcerer God sect is here too? Another wave of exclamations sounded on the battlefield. Jian Wushuang's pupils constricted. He immediately looked toward the void where Flame Saint Master was looking at. A dark figure slowly emerged, and at the same time, an extremely powerful aura began to spread. Gradually, it spread throughout the world. If you find any errors, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know so we can fix it as soon as possible. Tip: you can use left, right, A and D keyboard keys to browse between chapters. Chapter 3322. Sorcerer God. The person who came was an old man in a black robe. His face was gaunt as if he was just skin and bones. There was a pair of cold and strange pupils in his eye sockets that seemed to be about to sink in, and they were also emitting a faint green light. It was as if ghostly flames were dancing slowly, and a cold, strange, and evil aura spread out from his body. Anyone who met his gaze would shudder from the depths of their souls. The moment they saw the black-robed old man, the first thought that came to everyone's mind was fear and terror. And this black-robed old man was the infamous sect master of the Sorcerer God sect in the divine beginning realm, the Sorcerer God. The Sorcerer God commanded the Sorcerer God sect. In terms of overall strength, the Sorcerer God sect was not much weaker than one of the great saint realms. As the most powerful Sorcerer God, in terms of individual strength, it had always been rumored that he was not inferior to the three great saint realm masters. However, this Sorcerer God was too mysterious and rarely fought personally, so no one knew exactly how strong he was. But now, this Sorcerer God had appeared in person. Although he had not fought yet, judging from the aura he emitted, his strength should not be weaker than the three Saint Realm Masters. Kiki, Flame Saint Master, we've known each other for so long, but this is the first time I've seen you being forced into such a sorry state. Moreover, you've been forced into such a sorry state by a little fellow at the Saint Realm. The black-robed old man Sorcerer God's gaze emitted a strange light as he looked at Flame Saint Master. A strange hoarse laugh also came out from his mouth. Don't just stand there and say it like it's nothing. If you have the ability, why don't you come and exchange blows with this demon and see if your situation is much better than mine? Flame Saint Master snorted coldly. Sorcerer God raised his eyebrows and smiled. That's true. After all, the one you're facing is the most terrifying Yimo in the universe void. It's normal for it to be forced into such a sorry state. Yimo? Flame Saint Master immediately looked over. Sorcerer God, do you know the origin of this demon? I have heard of it, but this is also the first time I have seen it. It is just as the rumors say. Yimo is purely born for destruction. Its speed is extremely fast and its offensive ability is extremely strong. Moreover, its self-healing and recovery ability is also the most terrifying. Even the weakest Yimo is extremely powerful. There is only one way to kill a Yimo, and that is to forcefully use a tyrannical attack to completely crush this Yimo, not giving it a chance to heal itself. Sorcerer God's voice was deep. I don't know how Heavenly Sword Marquis managed to get a Yimo to fight for him. However, the Yimo he got hasn't reached that level yet. In addition, this is the divine beginning realm, so even a Yimo would be suppressed by the power of the will of heaven. Its strength might not be able to reach its limit, so it's not impossible to kill it. As the Sorcerer God spoke, Jian Wushuang, who was not far away, narrowed his eyes. The Yimo should have never interacted with the divine beginning realm. Almost no one in the divine beginning realm knew about the origin of the Yimo, such as the three masters of the Saint Realm. However, the Sorcerer God knew about the origin of the Yimo. Moreover, he knew about the innate advantages of the Yimo, as well as its weaknesses, which surprised Jian Wushuang. Sorcerer God, since you know so much about this monster, it's easy to deal with it. Let's work together and kill this Yimo first, then kill Heavenly Sword Marquis, said Flame Saint Master. Okay, but it's still what I said before. If there's a chance, it's best to keep the corpse of Heavenly Sword Marquis. If not, it'll force a few drops of essence blood out of his body, said Sorcerer God. As long as Heavenly Sword Marquis is dead, whether we can keep his corpse or refine essence blood will depend on your own ability, Flame Saint Master said. Then let's do it. The Sorcerer God laughed and moved directly. He did not immediately attack Jian Wushuang, but directly went to find the Yimo. Roar! The Yimo let out a terrifying roar. It had received Jian Wushuang's order to tear the Flame Saint Master and the Sorcerer God into pieces. Therefore, when the Sorcerer God approached it, it turned around and clawed at it. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website MyBox Novel. Thanks. This claw easily tore apart heaven and earth. I'd like to see how powerful the legendary Yimo is. The Sorcerer God laughed loudly. Facing the sharp claws of the Yimo, he had no intention of dodging. He let the Yimo's sharp claws pass by him. Swish! The sharp claws did not touch any substance. The Sorcerer God's body began to transform. In the blink of an eye, more than a dozen figures of the Sorcerer God appeared around the Yimo. Each figure seemed to be real. Even Jian Wushuang could not tell which of these figures was the Sorcerer God's original body. As for the Yimo, it was completely enraged by the Sorcerer God. It roared crazily and attacked the figures of the Sorcerer God, but none of the attacks actually hit the Sorcerer God's original body. Kiki, it's just as the rumors say. Although the Yimo is powerful, its intelligence is very low. The Sorcerer God shook his head and laughed. Suddenly, among the dozens of figures formed by the Sorcerer God, one of the figures behind the Yimo suddenly stretched out his hand. A sharp spear that carried a gloomy and cold aura pierced into the Yimo's body and directly pierced out from the other end of the Yimo's body. After being pierced by the spear, the intense pain made the Yimo more angry and irritable, and it became crazier and crazier. However, the onlookers noticed that although the Yimo became crazier, its speed actually began to slow down. Yes, it became slower. Logically speaking, the crazier the Yimo was, the stronger and faster it would be. However, it was obviously not like that now. No, that spear just now was not that simple. Jian Wushuang frowned. He had already guessed the reason. Is it poison? My ability to fight head-on is not very strong. However, no one in the divine beginning realm can match me in using poison. The blood voodoo poison that I personally refined is the pride of my life. If it was an adult Yimo with peak strength, it might be able to ignore my blood voodoo poison. However, this Yimo clearly has not reached such a level. The sorcerer god sneered. The sorcerer god sect was famous for all kinds of strange and cold methods. When it came to using poison, the sorcerer god sect was also famous in the divine beginning realm. The sorcerer god was the patriarch of the sorcerer god sect. When it came to using poison, perhaps no one in the divine beginning realm could compare to him. His spear just now seemed to have simply pierced through the body of the Yimo. The Yimo had already used its self-healing ability to repair itself, but the blood voodoo poison had already been left in the Yimo's body. Chapter 33-23. 9 Dragons Killing the Heavens. There was no doubt that the Yimo was very terrifying. Whether it was its killing methods, speed, and self-healing ability, it was very terrifying. Except for its low intelligence, it had almost no weaknesses. However, the Yimo that Jian Wushuang had summoned through the Hungry Ghost Path was not at its peak. Its strength had not yet reached its peak, and it was not so invulnerable. Now, it was being corroded by the sorcerer god's blood voodoo poison. The internal part of the Yimo's body was greatly affected. Its strength and speed were greatly weakened. As time passed, the weakening continued to increase. Originally, the Yimo that Jian Wushuang had summoned could suppress the Flame Saint Master head-on. However, under the continuous corrosion of the blood voodoo poison, it could no longer keep up with the Flame Saint Master's speed. In addition, the sorcerer god was also attacking from the side. The Yimo was completely crushed. If its self-healing ability had not been greatly affected, the Yimo would have probably been killed by the Flame Saint Master's powerful attack. This Yimo no longer has any battle strength. Jian Wushuang sighed lightly and then waved his hand. In the void next to the Yimo, the void gate appeared again, and the Yimo received Jian Wushuang's order. It rushed toward the void gate and wanted to leave the battlefield. You want to leave? The sorcerer god's pupils shrank when he saw this. It's not easy to meet a Yimo. How can I let you leave so easily? The sorcerer god's speed reached its peak. Before the Yimo was about to step into the void gate, the long spear in his hand burst out with endless dark light. It directly stabbed the Yimo's arm and then slashed with force. One of the Yimo's sharp claws was actually torn off by him. After which, the sorcerer god waved his hand and kept the sharp claw into his interspatial ring. Although the Yimo had lost a claw, its body was not obstructed. It still rushed into the void gate. It disappeared along with the void gate. Sorcerer god, are you interested in this monster? Flame Saint Master stood beside the sorcerer god and could not help but ask. It's rare to meet a mantis demon, so I left a claw as a memento, the sorcerer god said casually. It seemed that he really did it casually, and Flame Saint Master did not ask too much. Well, this mantis demon has been dealt with. Next, it's Heavenly Sword Marquis' turn. Flame Saint Master's eyes flashed with strong killing intent. The sorcerer god stared at Jian Wushuang with a strange light. Kill! Flame Saint Master shouted. The purplish gold flames covering his body formed a huge purplish gold sea of fire and surged toward Jian Wushuang. Flame Saint Master's aura also reached its peak. He held the long scarlet gold staff in one hand and charged toward Jian Wushuang. As for the sorcerer god, he moved slightly and silently approached Jian Wushuang. Seeing this, Jian Wushuang's face darkened slightly. After using the 9-region seal, the frigid hell, and the lonely hell consecutively, more than half of the power that Elder Blood Wave gave me has been consumed. Now, I have to face both Flame Saint Master and the sorcerer god at the same time. I have no choice but to use the last move. Jian Wushuang clenched his hands. In the sky above, the huge scroll world shook slightly as if it was responding to Jian Wushuang. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website MyBox Novel. Thanks. Mountain River Map, 9-Dragon Heaven Killing Formation, open. Jian Wushuang's eyes flashed with a sharp light. The remaining power in his body had been used up by 1/3 at this moment. Boom! The world shook violently. In the scroll world above, the 9 huge continents in the scroll world were bursting with dazzling golden light. These 9 continents were the vast 9 regions that existed within the mountain river map. 9 regions were originally the 9 worlds of outstanding people, but later on, they were forcefully refined and placed into the mountain river map. Not only were these 9 regions vast and tyrannical, but most importantly, each of the 9 regions had already formed a dragon spirit. The 9 dragon spirits and the 9 regions had always been trapped within the mountain river map. The mountain river map was a top-tier universal treasure, and the secret skill contained in it was extremely powerful. From the beginning of the 9 provinces seal to the 1,000 treasures great world, they were all unique and powerful secret skills. However, Jian Wushuang had come into contact with the 9 provinces seal and the 1,000 treasures great world a long time ago. Although he had not been able to unleash the true power of these 2 secret skills, at least he could use them through the mountain river map. However, the mountain river map did not contain only these 2 secret skills. On the contrary, the 9 region seal and the 1,000 treasures great world were the 2 simpler secret skills in the mountain river map, and the threshold for cultivating these 2 secret skills was not high. However, there were more powerful secret skills in the mountain river map that required a very high threshold to cultivate. This secret skill was the formation contained in the mountain river map, the 9 dragon heaven killing formation. This was the most terrifying killing move of the map. It was much more terrifying than the 9 region seal and the 1,000 treasures great world. Jian Wushuang was too weak before and had not been able to master this move. It was not until his strength improved greatly in the Blood Wave realm that he finally reached the threshold to cultivate this secret skill. Therefore, when he knew that there was an inescapable net outside the Blood Wave realm, he deliberately found Blood Wave and asked him to delay it for 3 days. During these 3 days, he had been focused on researching this killing move, and in these 3 days, he had successfully grasped this move. And now, with the help of Blood Wave, he temporarily possessed the power of a ruler, and he could fully unleash the power of this move. Roar! A dragon's roar suddenly sounded from the scroll world in the 9 heavens. The sound shook the heaven and earth. The countless experts present, including Flame Saint Master and Sorcerer God, all raised their heads and looked up. They could see that among the 9 continents that were emitting golden light in the scroll world above, the golden light that erupted from one of the continents was the most dazzling. And under everyone's gaze, this towering continent also began to slowly materialize. This continent seemed to have come to life completely. It was originally a huge and majestic continent, but in a moment, it actually slowly turned into a huge object. This was a dragon. A 5-clawed golden dragon with a body that was hundreds of thousands of feet long and covered in golden scales. It had a noble and majestic body, and it also had a life aura that surpassed all living creatures. It appeared from the scroll world and directly descended into the world. 9 dragon heaven-killing formation, 9 dragon spirits that had been transformed from the 9 regions, had now descended. 1 dragon heaven-killing formation. Jian Wushuang's eyes flashed with killing intent, and the 10,000-meter golden dragon that had descended into the world instantly attacked. Chapter 33-24 Fight to the Death Hong. The 5-clawed golden dragon moved, and as if the sky was falling and the earth was splitting, its terrifying power directly pressed down on Flame Saint Master and Sorcerer God. The dozens of figures that Sorcerer God had transformed into had always existed even though the Yimo had already entered the gate of void space. However, at this moment, it was only the moment when the golden dragon's power pressed down on them, the figures immediately dissipated. Be careful. This is the terrifying secret skill, 9 Dragons Heaven-Killing Formation, which is carried by the top-tier universe treasure, the Mountain River Map. I've experienced the power of this secret skill before. It's very terrifying, Flame Saint Master reminded. During the world-ending war countless years ago, Xian Yi had used the 9 Dragons Heaven-Killing Formation to kill everyone with the Mountain River Map. However, Xian Yi had driven 6 golden dragons from the map at that time. 6 golden dragons were enough to destroy the world. Jian Wushuang had only driven 1 golden dragon, which was not as powerful as Xian Yi, but it was still very powerful. Let's attack together. Endless purple gold flames burst out of Flame Saint Master's body, and his divine body rose to a height of 100 feet. He had completely turned into a purple gold flame war god. He held the long scarlet gold staff in both hands and raised it high. At the instant he raised it, a terrifying might immediately began to gather crazily, and in the blink of an eye, it had already gathered to its peak. As for the sorcerer god, he was skilled in using poison and all sorts of underhanded methods, but a head-on confrontation was not something he was good at. However, he still held the long spear in his hands tightly, and an endless icy aura gathered within the long spear. It made the long spear seem as if it had turned into a dark star. At the instant that the 100,000 feet tall golden dragon attacked, the Flame's Sacred Master's golden red long rod and the sorcerer god's long spear that seemed to have turned into a dark star immediately attacked. Bang! The huge golden red long rod directly smashed toward the golden dragon's head, and the long spear that looked like a dark star directly pierced towards the golden dragon's neck. Bang! Bang! 2 deafening sounds were heard in succession. Although the mighty power of the 30,000-meter golden dragon was earth-shaking, it could not withstand the powerful attacks of the 2 masters of the Saint Realm. It collapsed at this moment, and the overwhelming power spread wildly in all directions. The golden dragon collapsed, but the Flame Saint Master and the sorcerer god were not any better. Both of them were hit by the terrifying impact of the golden dragon, and they staggered and retreated crazily, especially the sorcerer god, who was not good at head-on collisions. He looked even more miserable. Seeing this scene, Jian Wushuang's pupils contracted secretly. After all, I haven't mastered the 9-dragon heaven-killing formation for a long time, and am not very familiar with the use of the dragon spirit. If I could have more time before this battle and get more familiar with it, my use of the dragon spirit would definitely be 70 to 80% stronger than it is now. Jian Wushuang was helpless about this. In the Bloodwave realm, he had asked Bloodwave to buy him 3 days to barely master the move of the 9-dragon heaven-killing formation. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website MyBox Novel. Thanks. However, he had only mastered it in the beginning and had not had the time to really practice it. It was his first time awakening the dragon spirit in the Mountain River map, so his use of the dragon spirit was very shallow, and he could not fully exert the strength of the dragon spirit. In addition, although I have the power of a ruler, I can't use it by myself. Plus, the backlash from the power is so strong that I can't use it well. Otherwise, the dragon spirit will be stronger. Jian Wushuang sighed. The 9-dragon heaven-killing formation was the real killer move in the map. Its power was earth-shaking, but it was far from the standard of his master. After all, his master relied on his own strength to sweep the world. I just used up a lot of the power given by Elder Bloodwave. Now I only have 20% of my remaining power. Jian Wushuang narrowed his eyes. 20% of my power is not enough for me to use any more tricks. I have to fight to the death. Thinking of this, Jian Wushuang suddenly raised his head and poured all of his remaining power, including 99% of his divine power, into the Mountain River map. At this moment, the golden light on the 9 continents, which had gradually dimmed, became dazzling again. Buzz, buzz. Heaven and earth shook, and 2 towering continents in the scroll world began to transform at the same time. In the blink of an eye, the 2 towering continents transformed into 2 golden dragons. The golden 5-clawed dragon, which was also 30,000 meters tall, also had an earth-shaking and terrifying power. The 2 golden dragons that had transformed were even stronger than the golden dragon that Jian Wushuang had transformed into earlier. Their power was even stronger. After all, this was the first time Jian Wushuang had awakened the dragon spirit, so he was not very familiar with controlling it. However, this was the second time he had awakened the dragon spirit. Although he was still not very familiar with it, it was definitely slightly stronger than before. Under the shocked gazes of the surrounding experts, The two 30,000-meter tall golden dragons slowly emerged from the scroll world. The two terrifying powers pressed down on everyone present. Upon seeing the two 30,000-meter tall golden dragons, the expressions of Flame Saint Master and Sorcerer God became extremely solemn. This kid can actually use two dragons to kill the heavens? Flame Saint Master narrowed his eyes slightly. Just now, just one golden dragon was enough to put so much pressure on us. Now, there are two golden dragons, and both of them are much stronger than the previous one. Flame Saint Master, are you confident in blocking this attack? Sorcerer God looked at Flame Saint Master. Flame Saint Master did not answer. Obviously, he was not confident. Two dragons killing the heaven is the limit of my ability. Flame Saint Master, Sorcerer God, I'd like to see if you two can still withstand it. Jian Wushuang's eyes were cold, but he suddenly waved his hand. Go! Boom! The world trembled, and the two 30,000-meter-long golden dragons instantly burst out under Jian Wushuang's guidance. Two terrifying forces pressed down crazily. In front of these two forces, any power seemed so weak and insignificant. Faced with these golden dragons, both the Flame Saint Master and the Sorcerer God could only try their best to resist. The Flame Saint Master held the long golden stick in his hands at the same time and used his most powerful stick. The Sorcerer God's spear turned into a dark meteor this time and shot out with terrifying penetrating power. In the blink of an eye, the two sides collided. Chapter 33-25. Heavy injuries boom. Terrifying booms sounded like continuous waves, resounding in the ears of many experts. The countless experts watching the battle, including the principal's masters with different strengths, were all shocked by the scene in front of them. The two golden dragons clashed with the strongest attacks of Flame Saint Master and Sorcerer God. Such a collision was rarely seen in billions of years. Look over there. Space wormhole, what a big space wormhole. This should be more than 10,000 meters, right? Everyone was dumbstruck as they looked at the space wormhole with a diameter of more than 10,000 meters that appeared in the center. In the divine beginning realm, the space that was the most stable directly blasted out a space wormhole with a diameter of more than 10,000 meters. What kind of concept was this? To put it bluntly, even if it was a head-on battle between masters of the Saint Realm, it would be difficult to create such a big scene in the early stage. Although Jian Wushuang was only an immortal saint, the astonishing power he displayed now completely exceeded everyone's understanding. Rumble! The terrifying power finally began to weaken. A large amount of power formed a shock wave and began to spread out in the surroundings. Although the spectating experts were extremely far away from this battlefield, at this moment, they were still knocked about by the shock wave. Only the law masters could barely stand. This is the might of a Saint Realm Master, a ruler. Elder Darkbones stood together with the experts from the Temporal Temple. But at this moment, even he could not help but exclaim in admiration. Although he was the most powerful Principal's master, he could even fight against a master of the Saint Realm. But he could barely hold on for a moment. Once the master of the Saint Realm unleashed his full strength, he would be crushed and could only think of ways to save his life. The battle in front of him was beyond his control. Whether it was the Flame Saint Master, the Sorcerer God, or Jian Wushuang, who had used some unknown method to unleash his monstrous battle strength, they were far beyond his reach. Especially Jian Wushuang. He can fight against two masters of the Saint Realm at the same time. This heavenly sword mark. Elder Darkbones sighed secretly. Soon, the power in the center of the battlefield completely dissipated, and the scene in the void was gradually revealed to everyone. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website MyBox Novel. Thanks. Seeing the scene in the void, the countless experts watching the battle were all stunned. Jian Wushuang, the Flame Saint Master, and the Sorcerer God were still standing in the void. Jian Wushuang's face was pale, without a trace of blood. His aura was extremely weak, as if it would be completely cut off at any time. From his body at all, the audience could understand Jian Wushuang's current state. After all, when Jian Wushuang used 2 dragons to kill heaven, they could see that he had reached his limit. He had used almost all of his strength to use this move. After using it, he would definitely fall into weakness, he would no longer have any battle strength. Therefore, Jian Wushuang's current state was very normal. The ones who truly shocked everyone present were the Flame Saint Master and the Sorcerer God. These 2 people? First, they looked at the Flame Saint Master. The Flame Saint Master had already returned to his normal size. His body was still covered in a layer of purple gold flames, but this layer of purple gold flames was much dimmer than before. The Flame Saint Master's face was also quite pale, there was still a trace of blood at the corner of his mouth. Clearly, Flame Saint Master had been injured by the impact of the 2 100,000 feet tall golden dragons during the collision just now. Moreover, judging from the aura on his body that was much weaker than before, his injuries were not light. Looking at the Sorcerer God, who was not good at head-on collisions, his injuries were clearly even more severe than Flame Saint Master's. The Sorcerer God's withered and old face was now twisted together. The corner of his mouth and the black robe on his body was covered in blood, and the strange airflow around him had also been completely restrained. He was still standing in the void. However, his body was slightly trembling. As for the aura on his body, it was at least half weaker than before. Injured. The Flame Saint Master and the Sorcerer God, these 2 supreme existences, are actually injured? 2 great Saint Realm Masters working together were actually injured by an immortal Saint head-on, and both of them were heavily injured? How is this possible? Not only did he fight against 2 Saint Realm Masters with his own strength, but he even heavily injured 2 Saint Realm Masters. Is this Heavenly Sword Marquis even human? Shocked, and incredulous voices were heard from the crowd. Even the principal's masters from the 2 camps looked at each other in disbelief. This little fellow actually injured Flame Saint Master and Sorcerer God? Temple Master Bai Xing sucked in a breath of cold air. Unbelievable, simply unbelievable. Ba Tsang said in a low voice. This little fellow is indeed a little too abnormal. Lin Guang Master added. On the other 2 battlefields, Life and Death Saint Master, the 4 Ancient Immortals, and Destruction Saint Master, who was still engaged in a fierce battle with the consciousness avatar of the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance Master, also saw this scene. Huge waves of emotions surged in their hearts. This kid is too abnormal. If he doesn't think about it today, it's almost impossible for us 3 Saint Realms to kill him in the future. Life and Death Saint Master changed from his usual gentle face to a cold one. Heavenly Sword Marquis has used up all of his divine power and is now at the end of his life. This is the best time to kill him. Flame Saint Master, Sorcerer God, why don't you 2 hurry up and do it? Destruction Saint Master immediately urged. As Destruction Saint Master had said, Jian Wushuang was already at the end of his rope. Although Flame Saint Master and Sorcerer God had been severely injured by Jian Wushuang's 2 dragons killing the heaven, they were still able to retain their battle strength. At this time, they would certainly not let go of the opportunity to kill Jian Wushuang. Boy die! The Flame Saint Master did not hesitate at all. The scarlet gold long staff in his hand carried an earth-shaking power as he furiously attacked Jian Wushuang. Flame Saint Master, try to keep his body as long as possible. The Sorcerer God also immediately attacked. However, the Sorcerer God only used poison. It was obvious that he did not want to hurt Jian Wushuang's divine body. Faced with the attacks of the 2 masters of the Saint Realm, Jian Wushuang indeed did not have any strength to resist at this moment. However, at this moment, Jian Wushuang smiled. His smile was a little strange. Although his consciousness was in a blurry state due to the crazy backlash from the previous power, he still saw the silver-haired old man who appeared out of nowhere behind Flame Saint Master and Sorcerer God. The silver-haired old man also slowly extended his finger. Chapter 33:26. The Palace Lord had arrived. Halt! A deep voice suddenly sounded in the vast world. All the experts present heard this voice. In the next moment, the entire space-time froze, and the experts present all fell into a frozen state. It must be known that because more and more experts participated in this battle, and their strength became more and more terrifying, the area of this battle was incomparably vast, and the spectators were quite far away from the battlefield. But at this moment, the already vast battlefield, in addition to the large area of space-time around the battlefield, all sank into a state of stagnation. All the immortal saints and principles masters who were watching the battle were motionless at this moment. As for Flame Saint Master and Sorcerer God, who were attacking Jian Wushuang, they suddenly stopped in the void. This is... Flame Saint Master's body trembled slightly. As a Saint Realm Master, he was still able to keep his thoughts under the time-space freeze. Although his body was greatly hindered, he could still move. As for the Sorcerer God, Life and Death Saint Master, and Destruction Saint Master, they were naturally not too affected. However, when they sensed the space-time freezing, they knew that that person had already rushed to the battlefield. Temporal Temple Master? Life and Death Saint Master could not be bothered to deal with the four ancient immortals in front of him. Instead, he turned his head to look at the silver-haired old man. This is troublesome. The Destruction Saint Master's expression sank. Temple Master. The four ancient immortals within the golden armored puppet were not affected by the space-time freeze. They instantly saw the existence of the silver-haired old man and were overjoyed. Space-time, you came at the right time. If you hadn't come, I wouldn't have been able to protect that little fellow. An indifferent voice came from the consciousness clone of the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance Master. The consciousness clone of the leader of the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance had been fighting with the Destruction Saint Master, but it was just a clone after all. During the battle, his divine power was constantly dissipating. Now, this consciousness clone was on the verge of dissipating. Heaven-Cleaving Alliance, thank you very much this time. The Temporal Temple Master glanced at the consciousness clone of the leader of the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance. I'm only helping that little guy. I never thought of helping your Temporal Temple. Don't flatter yourself. The consciousness avatar of the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance Master sneered. All right, since your original body is here in person, I won't care about what happens next. Clean up this mess yourself. After the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance Master finished speaking, his body shook and his consciousness avatar disappeared from this world. After the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance Master left, the Temporal Temple Master looked at the three Saint Realm Masters. The three Saint Realms and Sorcerer God Sect. I have been wandering in the universe battlefield for millions of years, and I haven't come back. Now that I have come back, I see this scene. It seems that you three Saint Realms have taken care of my Temporal Temple during my absence. Although the Temporal Temple Master had a smile on his face, however, there was a trace of coldness in his smile. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website MyBox Novel. Thanks. The three Masters of the Saint Realm and the Sorcerer God had gathered together, and the three Masters of the Saint Realm looked quite upset. Although Temporal Temple Master is at the ruler level, he is still in the divine beginning realm. He is more or less limited by the power of the will of heaven. His battle strength is probably equal to ours. Now that the consciousness avatar of the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance Master has disappeared, the four of us working together can completely ignore Temporal Temple Master. The Sorcerer God secretly transmitted his voice. He was still greedy for Jian Wushuang's divine body and the blood essence in his body. It's not as simple as you think. Flame Saint Master replied in a low voice. Although Temporal Temple Master is not much stronger than us in the divine beginning realm, his use of time and space is beyond our imagination. With him in front of us, there's nothing we can do. The three of us have already experienced how difficult the Temporal Temple Master is to deal with. If he is willing, he can completely not fight with the three of us. He can just use his time and space technique to fool the three of us. He can even use his time and space technique to send us to several different time and space. And he can enter any time and space to fight us one-on-one. We are definitely not his match. Life and Death Saint Master said. Any one of the three strongest rulers of the divine beginning realm is extremely terrifying. The Heaven-Cleaving Alliance Master is extremely powerful, and his consciousness avatar alone is enough to fight against any one of us. If his true body were here, he would be able to fight against all three of us at the same time. The Temporal Temple Master's use of time and space is extremely strange. As for the Heavenly Ancestor, his methods are also unfathomable. Since any of their true bodies are here and they want to protect Heavenly Sword Marquis, there's nothing we can do, the Destruction God said in a low voice. The three masters of the Saint Realm were also helpless at this moment. If other experts were here, they would not care too much. But now, it was Temporal Temple Master's original body. Temporal Temple Master was not only extremely powerful, but he also relied on his own strength to become a ruler. Most importantly, Temporal Temple Master's use of time and space was so powerful that it had reached an incredible level. Since Temporal Temple Master was present, it was absolutely impossible for them to continue fighting. It was also impossible for them to kill Jian Wushuang. Even though Jian Wushuang's consciousness had already fallen into a faint state, he was completely unable to resist. In other words, the three Saint Realm Masters had set up such an inescapable net and arranged so many means. Even the three of them, as well as the Sorcerer God, had personally attacked four Saint Realm Masters. However, they still failed to kill Jian Wushuang. This made the three Masters of the Saint Realm feel aggrieved and ashamed. However, no matter how aggrieved they were, they could do nothing against the Temporal Temple Master. Temporal Temple Master, with your experience, you should know that killing this little guy was not our intention. The Life and Death Saint Master looked at the Temporal Temple Master. Of course, I know this. The three of you are just its lackeys. The Temporal Temple Master sneered. Lackeys? This title made the three Saint Realm Masters' faces even more unsightly, but they did not refute it. The Life and Death Saint Master continued. Since you know our intention, you should be clear that this little guy cannot be kept. You'd better not protect him. Don't forget that the world-ending war was the best example. However, the one who disappeared in the last war was the 7-star mysterious sect, and this time, it might be the Temporal Temple. Chapter 3327. The dust has settled. The Life and Death Saint Master's voice was cold, and the threat in his words was obvious. Are you trying to scare me? The Temporal Temple Master glanced at the Life and Death Saint Master. I don't dare, I'm just stating the facts. Although your Temporal Temple is strong, it shouldn't be comparable to the invincible Overlord 7-star mysterious sect, right? The Life and Death Saint Master said coldly. It can't be compared to them. However, our Temporal Temple has some methods that the 7-star mysterious sect couldn't compare to. It's even better. If we want to recreate the world-ending war, we have to see if it still has the ability and courage, the Temporal Temple Saint Master said mockingly. Life and Death Saint Master, Destruction Saint Master, Flame Saint Master, and Sorcerer God, I'll remember what happened today. I'll come back to settle the score with you guys in the future. We'll be waiting for you at any time. The three Saint Masters were not afraid at all. Although they could not do anything to the Temporal Temple Master, the Temporal Temple Master could not do anything to the three of them in the Divine Beginning Realm. However, the Sorcerer God's expression changed slightly, but he did not say anything. Bai Xing. The Temporal Temple Master glanced at the void next to him. That void was where the experts of the Temporal Temple gathered. While the entire world was in a state of space-time stagnation, this void was not affected at all. The experts of the Temporal Temple had been keeping a clear mind and were able to move freely. Hearing Temporal Temple Master's call, Temple Master Bai Xing immediately went forward and said, Temple Master. Take the little guy and let's go, Temporal Temple Master said. Yes. Temple Master Bai Xing immediately stepped forward and took Jian Wushuang, who had fallen into a coma. With a wave of Temporal Temple Master's hand, a space passage appeared out of thin air. Many experts of the Temporal Temple directly stepped into the space passage and disappeared. As for Temporal Temple Master, he had also stepped into the space passage with half a foot, but he suddenly withdrew his foot. I almost forgot something. Temporal Temple Master looked around and waved his hand. Shoo! A streak of light rushed toward him at an incredible speed, and in the blink of an eye, it landed in his hand. On a closer look, it was a purple gold command flag. It was the golden flag of painting sky. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website MyBox Novel. Thanks. Temporal Temple Master had a golden flag of painting sky, and the one that flew into his hand was Green Rock Master's. The golden sky painting flag is a true treasure in the field of time and space. It's better for the palace to keep it. Temporal Temple Master smiled and wiped Green Rock Master's consciousness from the golden sky painting flag, then he put it into his interspatial ring. After that, Temporal Temple Master stepped into the space tunnel again. The 3 Saint Realm Masters and Sorcerer God watched the space tunnel slowly shrink, but they did not want to stop it at all. After the Temporal Temple Master left, the world that had been frozen in time and space finally began to flow again. The many experts in this world also regained their consciousness. However, after they regained their consciousness, they were all at a loss. What happened? What happened just now? What about Heavenly Sword Marquis? Where did the experts of the Temporal Temple go? There are no experts from the Temporal Temple. What's going on? The experts who were stuck in the state of time-space stagnation had their consciousness completely cut off. They had no idea what had just happened. They did not even know that they had been stuck in the state of time-space stagnation and that their consciousness had been suspended for a period of time. But very quickly they reacted. It's time freeze. All of us fell into a time freeze just now, and our consciousness fell into a time freeze. Time freeze? Making all of us fall into a time freeze? How is this possible? Who cast time freeze? Everyone was still a little dazed. But at this time, Elder Darkbone frowned. He said solemnly, "Space-time stagnation is a technique that can only be used after one has grasped the principles of space-time to a certain extent. However, the area that this technique can cover and the degree of influence it can have on an expert depends on this person's strength. And if we want space-time stagnation to completely cover our current world and cause all of us to fall into space-time stagnation, this person's use of space-time must definitely reach the peak of perfection. And in the entire divine beginning realm, there is only one person who has such attainments in space-time, and that is the Temporal Temple Master." Temporal Temple Master? Temporal Temple Master? The Temporal Temple Master just came? Everyone cried out in surprise, but they soon understood. Indeed, under the situation just now, only Temporal Temple Master could completely turn the situation around, while everyone was in a daze. Let's leave together with the experts of the Temporal Temple and Jian Wushuang. Temporal Temple Master, his use of space-time is getting more and more profound. Even I can't avoid the space-time stagnation. Elder Darkbone sighed quietly. He could at least tangle with a Saint Realm Master, but he had also fallen into the space-time stagnation just now. To be able to resist the space-time stagnation of Temporal Temple Master, one must at least have the battle strength of a Saint Realm Master. That Heavenly Sword Marquis and the experts of the Temporal Temple have already left with the Temporal Temple Master. So, this battle should end here, right? A Principal's Master suddenly said. His words caused the surrounding experts to agree with him. It should be over. The battle is finally over. This battle, although the two sides haven't fought to a true victory or defeat, this process is really soul-stirring. Countless experts were sighing and praising the earth-shattering battle just now. This battle's level was too high, and there were too many peak experts participating in it. It was fine if they were ordinary masters of laws, but experts at the 6th stage of the Void Realm like Elder Darkbone and the 4 Ancient Immortals were rarely seen on normal days, not to mention the 3 great Saint Realm Masters, Sorcerer God, and the Consciousness Clone of the Heaven-Cleaving Alliance Master, as well as the Temporal Temple Master. In short, this battle was earth-shattering. At the same time, the one who shocked all the experts present was Jian Wushuang. That person was Jian Wushuang. He was just an immortal saint, but he had attracted so many experts from the 3 Saint Realms, the Sorcerer God sect, and the 9-tailed clan to hunt him down. After a fierce battle, so many top experts still failed to kill him? Especially when Jian Wushuang controlled the power given by Blood Wave and directly fought against the Flame Saint Master and the Sorcerer God, It was even more shocking. After all, the Flame Saint Master and the Sorcerer God, two masters of the Saint Realm, were seriously injured by Jian Wushuang. Who would have thought that a mere immortal saint could reach such a level? Without a doubt, after this battle, no matter what happened next, Jian Wushuang was bound to become a true legend in the Divine Beginning realm. Chapter 3328, Ruler of Chaos on Sa Island. That shocking battle had finally come to an end. The process and result of this battle were personally witnessed by many top experts. It spread like a violent storm across the entire Divine Beginning realm. The entire Divine Beginning realm was shaken by this battle. There were even people who specially named this battle the Battle of the Heavenly Sword Marquis. This was because the true protagonist of this battle was Heavenly Sword Marquis. Moreover, this Heavenly Sword Marquis was the most dazzling person in this battle. He was the most incredible existence. He refreshed the understanding of all experts toward the immortal saint. No one had ever thought that an immortal saint could be this powerful. However, although the heat of the battle had lasted for a long time, it gradually subsided as time went by. The Divine Beginning realm also regained its calm. In a flash, 20 years had passed since the end of the battle. On Saha Island, a large amount of gray airflow surrounded the independent spacetime, covering every corner of this spacetime. In the center of this spacetime, Jian Wushuang's consciousness finally began to slowly wake up. What am I? Jian Wushuang lay on a black crystal that emitted a strange aura, and his eyes had already opened to look around. He wanted to stand up at once, but a feeling of powerlessness immediately arose in his body. His body moved, and he was in extreme pain. As for his divine power, he did not have any left, just like an ordinary person. "Little guy, you're awake." A calm and gentle voice came from the side. Jian Wushuang immediately saw the silver-haired elder standing beside the black crystal. "Greetings, Temple Master." Jian Wushuang could only speak, but he could not stand up and bow. "Since you can see my identity at a glance, it seems that your consciousness has not been affected," Temple Master said. "How long have I been in a coma?" Jian Wushuang asked. He remembered that he had used up all the power that Blood Wave had given him during the battle, including 99% of his divine power. Then that power had rebounded crazily, causing his consciousness to fall into a coma. What happened next was completely unknown to him. "It hasn't been long, just 20 years, the Temple Master said. "If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website MyBox Novel. Thanks." 20 years. Jian Wushuang was stunned, but then he smiled bitterly. "I've been in a coma for 20 years, and it will take more time for my body to recover to its peak condition. Little guy, just be content." Temple Master smiled. "Don't forget that in the previous battle, you were forcibly imbued with a power comparable to that of a ruler. That level of power was only yours. If it had been any other cultivator, it would have been some clan experts with powerful divine bodies, or even some ordinary special life forms. The principles would have been that they would have been forced to explode, and they would have died without a doubt. Although your injury is very serious and you need a long time to recover, at least your life is saved, and it won't affect your overall foundation and consciousness. This is the best result. What else are you not satisfied with?" Jian Wushuang was stunned, and then he smiled helplessly. Indeed, before Blood Wave gave him the power, he had told him about the risks he had to take to obtain the power. The risks were too great. Ordinary cultivators and even some lower-level special life forms could not withstand the power at all and could only be stuffed to death. However, because he was a perfect level life form, he forcefully endured it. He just needed some time to recover. Of course, he was much better. The power of a ruler. Jian Wushuang still recalled the power he had in that battle. That power was so strong that it could make one's hair stand on end. Unfortunately, that power doesn't really belong to me. Jian Wushuang could not help sighing. "What's a pity? With your potential and talent, it won't be difficult for you to have the power of a ruler in the future." Temple Master looked over. Jian Wushuang smiled, then he said, "Temple Master, I've been curious about what the ruler level is." How can you reach the ruler level? And how can the three masters of the divine realm in the divine beginning realm compare to the ruler level? Jian Wushuang knew that above the principal's master was the ruler level. However, he was very unfamiliar with the ruler level. He did not know how to be considered a ruler level. The ruler level is just a short name. The true name of this level is the ruler of chaos. As the name implies, the ruler of chaos is the ruler of a primal chaos world. It can also be said to be the ruler of the primal chaos world. For example, our divine beginning realm is a complete primal chaos world. And the ruler of chaos is equivalent to the strongest overlord in this primal chaos world. It can be said that he is the strongest existence in this world. Even in the vast universe, the ruler level is a true expert, enough to dominate the universe. As for how to become a ruler level, as well as the difference between a ruler level and a principal's master, it's actually very easy to understand. The temporal temple master patiently explained. Little fellow, you've been in the third sky for quite some time already, and the level you've come into contact with is also very high. You should already understand the level division between principals masters. From the first level of the void to the 6 levels of the void, these 6 levels are all determined by the willpower they control. For example, the 6 levels of the void have 6 portions of the willpower. Most experts who have reached the 6th realm of the void have already fused 3 rules. Compared to the principal's masters of the 6th realm of the void, a ruler-level expert only needs to fuse 4 principles. You can become a chaos ruler by fusing 4 rules? Jian Wushuang was stunned. He clearly felt that this process was too simple. Little guy, you may think that it's easy to fuse 4 principles, but it's actually very difficult. It's very difficult to fuse principles. The more principles you fuse, the more difficult it will be. For example, if a principal's master has finally fused 2 principles, the difficulty of fusing the 3rd rule will be tens to hundreds of times more difficult than fusing 2 principles. As for fusing 4 principles, it's tens to hundreds of times more difficult than fusing 3 principles. It's thousands to tens of thousands of times more difficult than fusing 2 principles. Do you understand the concept? Temporal Temple Master looked at Jian Wushuang with a smile. Jian Wushuang was a little dumbfounded. Chapter 3329. Charm, thousands, maybe tens of thousands of times harder? Jian Wushuang was also shocked by the number. He has now begun to deal with the fusion of the principles, but he is now only delving into the space-time and reincarnation of the 2 principles fusion. But even if it was just the fusion of 2 principles, it was still extremely difficult in his eyes. Even if because of the opportunity within the Bloodwave Temple, he had already reached the threshold of the fusion of these 2 principles, but he wanted to completely fuse them successfully, he still needed a certain amount of fortuitous encounters and a large amount of time. This was also because he had obtained the fortuitous encounters in Bloodwave Temple to begin with. In addition, his comprehension ability was exceptionally high. However, to ordinary cultivators, fusing the 2 principles was already as difficult as ascending to the heavens. Of the many principles masters in the divine beginning realm, there were very few who had truly fused the principles. Moreover, the reason why they were able to fuse the principles was because they had experienced countless years and relied on a large amount of time to slowly study them. Only then did they fuse successfully. Fusing 2 principles was just like that. It was thousands to tens of thousands of times more difficult than fusing 2 principles. This concept was truly frightening. It is precisely because fusing 4 principles is too difficult that rulers are so rare. For example, the divine beginning realm only gave birth to a few more rulers because it was born for too long. Under normal circumstances, the primal chaos world would only give birth to a ruler after billions of years. For example, the closest ruler that was born in the divine beginning realm was also one. 8 billion years ago. The temporal temple continued to explain. Of course, the birth of a ruler is extremely difficult, but as long as one becomes a ruler, there will be a qualitative change. The power of the will alone. Once the 4 rules are fused, the power of the will be hundreds of times stronger than the principles masters of the 6 void realms who have fused the 3 principles. The two are completely incomparable, not to mention the other aspects such as divine power and divine body. His willpower alone is hundreds of times stronger than the 6 void realms? Jian Wushuang was shocked, but then he frowned and said, "Since the chaos ruler is so much stronger than the principle's master, why can't I sense it in the previous battle? There's also Elder Darkbone. He's only in the 6 void realms, but he can still fight against a Saint Realm master." That's not hard to understand. Temporal Temple Master smiled. First of all, you have to understand that a master of the Saint Realm is a master of the Saint Realm, and they are not rulers. They are just 3 of the 6 realms of the void who are lucky enough to obtain the power of the will of the heavenly Tao. They can't be compared to a real ruler. As for why they can be on the same level as a ruler, that's because they are in the divine beginning realm. In the divine beginning realm, because of the power of the will of the heavenly Tao, all rulers who have reached the ruler realm will be greatly restricted here. They can only display 10 to 20% of their power at most. But even so, in a one-on-one fight, any ruler can crush these 3 masters of the Saint Realm. Because of this, rulers like us rarely stay in the divine beginning realm. Because the restrictions here are too big, we can't open our hands and feet. So, for a long time, I choose to wander in the universe battlefield. In the universe battlefield, my power will not be restricted at all. That's how I feel at ease. However, if the 3 masters of the Saint Realm left the divine beginning realm and went to the universe battlefield, they would not be strengthened by the power of the will of the heavenly Tao. Instead, their strength would be weakened to the level of the 6 void realms, and they would be even weaker than a ruler. Therefore, the 3 masters of the Saint Realm in the divine beginning realm have never left the divine beginning realm since they became masters of the Saint Realm. Is that so? Jian Wushuang understood. He had heard some rumors that the top experts in the divine beginning realm looked down on the 3 masters of the Saint Realm. Now it seemed that they had their reasons for looking down on them. Once the 3 masters of the Saint Realm left the divine beginning realm, their battle strength might not even be as strong as those top experts of the 6 void realms. "Oh, I'll give this back to you." Temporal Temple Master suddenly flipped his hand and took out a scroll that emitted an ancient aura. This scroll was the Mountain River map. Looking at the Mountain River map, Jian Wushuang's heart stirred. Previously, he had used all his strength to use the 2 dragons killing the heaven to heavily injure the Flame Saint Realm and the Sorcerer God. But after using it, his consciousness fell into a scheme and he quickly passed out. Not only did he not know what happened next, but he also did not know what happened next. He did not even have time to take back the Mountain River map that had always existed in the void above him. If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website MyBox Novel. Thanks. However, the Temporal Temple Master brought back his Mountain River map when he left. "Thank you, Temple Master." Jian Wushuang quickly thanked him. The Temporal Temple Master asked directly, "Little guy, who is Xian Yi to you?" Jian Wushuang was shocked, but he answered truthfully, "He is my master." As expected. Temporal Temple Master stroked his beard and was not surprised. "Temple Master knows my master?" Jian Wushuang looked at Temporal Temple Master. "Sort of." Temporal Temple Master smiled. "Your master is a very important figure. Long ago, his existence shocked the entire divine beginning realm. As the Temple Master of the Temporal Temple, I naturally have dealings with him. Although I haven't had much contact with your master, I can tell that he is a very charismatic person." Charismatic? Jian Wushuang was stunned. Yes, he is unconventional, open-minded, and loyal. He can force people in desperate situations to drink and talk, and he can sacrifice himself for his good friend. He is clearly a top overlord of the divine beginning realm, but he can lower himself to talk to some weak cultivators as equals. The Temporal Temple Master said. There was also a strange smile on his face. Of course, what I really admire about him is his strength and his spirit. Facing thousands of soldiers and countless experts, he didn't retreat even an inch. He fought against all living things. To be honest, in all my years of dominating the world, no one has ever impressed me from the bottom of my heart. Your master is the first." Hearing the words of the temporal temple master, Jian Wushuang was extremely shocked. He suddenly remembered a scroll he had seen by chance. In the scroll, his master, Xian Yi, faced countless experts alone. He was already at the end of his rope, but his expression did not change. He fought to the death. The battle was so dark that his master had used up his last bit of strength and blood. Just like what the temporal temple master had said, it was a kind of spirit. A spirit that could fight the world and look down on all living things. In the divine beginning realm, other than his master, there was probably no one else who had this kind of spirit. Chapter 33:30, Origin of the Great War. Temple Master, since you know my master, you should know the origin of the Great War, right? Jian Wushuang asked. He had too many questions about the Great War. In that battle, 7-star mysterious sect was destroyed, and his master died. It could be said that the entire situation of the divine beginning realm was completely changed. However, Jian Wushuang did not know the origin of the battle or why it had erupted. Neither had his master told him about it. I do know something about the origin of the battle. Temporal Temple Master looked at Jian Wushuang and pondered for a moment before continuing. Forget it. Now that you're dealing with a Saint Realm Master, you're qualified to know about it. The origin of that battle was because of your master Xian Yi. Your master is not only powerful, but also has a very high level of life and great potential. However, his life level is extremely fearful of the power of the will of heaven, which is completely unacceptable to the will of heaven. Jian Wushuang narrowed his eyes. He knew this very well. He was also a perfect level life form, and the heavenly Tao will of the divine beginning realm could not tolerate his existence. It had personally come to kill him countless times, and it had even made the 3 saint realms kill him at all costs. Your master was not tolerated by the heavenly Tao. This is the true origin of the battle. However, your master had already passed through the weak stage and reached the peak of the principal's master. His battle strength was comparable to that of an ordinary ruler, or even stronger. Moreover, before the battle broke out, your master was about to completely integrate 4 principles to become a ruler. Think about it. Before he broke through to the ruler realm, your master was already stronger than an ordinary ruler. How strong would he be when he becomes a ruler? Temporal Temple Master asked. Jian Wushuang was shocked. Through the conversation just now, Jian Wushuang had already understood the huge gap between a principal's master and a ruler. However, under such circumstances, his master was still able to fight against a ruler and even surpass an ordinary ruler. Apart from the huge innate advantage brought by his life level, his master must have some extraordinary strength and means. Under such circumstances, if his master broke through to become a ruler, his battle strength would definitely reach an even more incredible level. Unfortunately, the power of the will of heaven seems to know that your master will break through to become a ruler soon, so it launched the world-ending war before your master became a ruler. Temporal Temple Master said. The scale of the war was incredible. After all, not only is your master strong, but most importantly, he is also one of the founders of the 7-star mysterious sect. In the past, the 3 founders of the 7-star mysterious sect all had the combat strength of a ruler, and their experts were as numerous as clouds. They were publicly recognized as the #1 force in the divine beginning realm. In front of the 7-star mysterious sect, even our temporal temple master, the heaven-cleaving alliance, and the divine ancestor Taoist sect had to bow their heads. Jian Wushuang could not help feeling excited. At its peak, the 7 stars mysterious sect was definitely the supreme overlord of the divine beginning realm. It was not something that the 3 Great Freedom Alliance and 3 Great Saint Realms could compare to. Just the 3 founders and 3 rulers alone, it was enough to hold everyone in awe. At that time, the power of the will of the heavenly Tao could only be mobilized by the 3 Great Saint Realms. However, it was impossible for the 3 Great Saint Realms to kill Xian Yi by relying on the 3 masters of the Saint Realm. Therefore, the three great saint realms began to lobby the top forces in the third heaven. The top forces, such as the four divine clans and the octagonal heaven sect, had suffered losses under the seven-star mysterious sect due to the seven-star mysterious sect's strong influence and the small-scale competition. Therefore, they could not help feeling jealous and resentful. This time, the three saint realms brought the will of heaven with them. Together with a series of threats and inducements, it was easy to pull them into a major alliance. Temporal Temple Master said, "If you have problems with this website, please continue reading your novel on our new website MyBox Novel. Thanks." Hearing this, Jian Wushuang frowned. "Temple Master, according to what you said, the seven-star mysterious sect had three masters and so many experts. Even if the three saint realms and the top forces in the third heaven joined forces, they might not be able to fight against the seven-star mysterious sect, right?" "You're right. Even if the three saint realms and so many forces joined forces, the odds of winning against the seven-star mysterious sect are still slim. No one in the three saint realms can fight against the three masters alone. The reason why the three saint realms dared to attack was that they had the help of experts from the universe," Temporal Temple Master said. "What?" Jian Wushuang was shocked. "An expert from the universe came to help? Not an expert from the divine beginning realm? Someone from the outside world?" "Yes." Temporal Temple Master nodded. "There were several experts who came from the universe, and each of them had the battle strength of a ruler. Most importantly, they brought a unique supreme treasure." "Supreme treasure? What's supreme treasure?" Jian Wushuang asked. "A spear with special power is the one that killed your master. Otherwise, even if a few rulers joined hands, they could at most suppress your master, but they would not be able to kill him," Temporal Temple Master said. Jian Wushuang was shocked. A perfect grade life form had extremely strong life-saving abilities and endless divine power. Under normal circumstances, since his master Xian Yi already had the battle strength of a ruler, as long as his strength was not completely crushed, it was almost impossible for the opponent to kill him. Even if there were several of them working together, it was also difficult to do so. But if the opponent used that extremely special treasure, spear, Jian Wushuang's eyes suddenly focused. He had already remembered the scene he had seen when his master was surrounded by countless experts. It was the spear that had pierced his master's chest, making him look like a desperate situation. With the help of those foreign masters, he had completely surpassed the seven-star mysterious sect in terms of strength at the highest level. Therefore, the world-ending war broke out. Although I did not participate in the earth-shattering battle, I watched from afar. In that battle, your master, Xian Yi, was ultimately suppressed by those foreign masters. In the end, he was killed by the spear. However, your master is indeed very powerful. Even before he died, he still used his power to forcefully devour the divine powers of countless experts on the battlefield and set up Heaven's Sealing Formation to completely seal off the seven-star divine territory where the seven-star mysterious sect used to be. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.